What's good, people? SJW live, back again at the new time, Thursday, 9 p.m. It's your boy Nova in the building. Don't mind me if I start choking today. Look, already my voice is gone. Already. See? I'm gonna die today. I'm gonna die live on YouTube. No, I'm not really. That was a joke, YouTube. Don't trigger and cancel my stream. I've been in bed at the game for a few days, just kind of feeling back at it. So I said, "Rah, I'm doing the live today, regardless." And that's where we're at, right? So I might even, as long as I'm still feeling good, I might even be here a while today because I've got a number of things I want to do, right? Hold up though. I think we're having a one little problem. Like we're live, but I might not have made the thing. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I made a mistake on it, but cool. Here we are. Now people hopefully will start joining. Alright. Like I said, I got a number of things I want to cover today, so there might be quite a few of them. Obviously the last few weeks I've been doing the Amber Heard reaction videos to the podcast Who Trolled Amber Heard. I'm going to do episode 3 of that today. Last time I did it at the end of the episode, because it's quite a long thing. It takes me about an hour just to do that reaction usually. So I might do it about an hour in, and then I might carry on doing some other stuff after. But obviously that's the most important thing for me, to make sure I get into the episode. Yeah, mind me if I'm coughing. I've got my cough sweets here ready, so if I start choking and that, I've got my backup. But Tom MacDonald has dropped a new music video. When we first started this relaunch of the lives, Tom MacDonald was a #1 target. That was when he did the Ben Shapiro song and all of that, and we was going for him. And 1 second, I need to share this actual link in my post I did a little while ago. But I was gonna do that first because that's what I was doing all the other episodes, right? I was going, alright, Tom MacDonald first, let's get him, boom, boom, boom. But I think I'm waiting for a few people to turn up because I think it's going to be a slow starter today. So the other day I did a video about J.K. Rowling, right? And you know, she's been quite known these days, called out quite a lot for transphobia. So the video the other day was saying she won't apologize to the Harry Potter stars who have called her out or said anything kind of against her. And I don't think they even really went hard. They were just kind of like, we stand with trans people kind of thing, like in response to her. Obviously it was slyly shots, innit? But so the next thing I've seen come up on that is Dawn French defends good person J.K. Rowling and vows not to be cornered by cancel culture. So Dawn French is saying she's a good person who's just made some mistakes, apparently. That's what I read as well. I haven't watched this. But, I mean, a person who makes mistakes apologizes for their mistakes and stuff like that, right? If what we're saying is she's made a mistake, then she'd be talking about it as a mistake. I don't think she is talking about it as a mistake, so I don't really think that's where we're at. But anyway, I want to see this story and see what Dawn French, what's Dawn French playing out over here and what's she up to. And I'm pretty sure she's already earned red flags out here anyway. Have I got my red flag today? Because I keep forgetting to bring my red flag. No, we need the red flag out today, man. I need the red flag back. There's a red flag. This ain't my good one. This ain't the good red flag. This one can do though. This one will do. Yeah? If you can see the red flag, it'll do. Alright. Cool. We got a red flag ready. Alright, Dawn French defends good person J.K. Rowling. Let's see.
Dawn French defends good person J.K. Rowling and vows not to be cornered by cancel culture.
Okay, I thought she was going to be talking for a start. I saw a picture when I first loaded this up. So if it's just a video of like a robot talking, that's not great. Let's see though.
Dawn French has spoken out in defense of Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling amid the controversy surrounding her views on transgender issues.
What the hell, man? Is this like made by AI?
Dawn French has defended J.K. Rowling as the furore continues over her views on transgender identity and their rights. Dawn, who starred in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, 2004, said despite J.K. making mistakes, she believes the author is a good person.
Okay, see, this is ridiculous watching an AI robot explain this, but so she said despite the author making mistakes, so she's saying, yeah, I think she's made mistakes maybe, but I think she's a good person. Interesting. I think I can handle about two more of these lines from this robot, and I gotta try and look for something else.
The comedian, 66, appeared on Fern Cotton's Happy Place podcast and discussed the issue of
Okay, let's stop this right now. So she appeared on a podcast, but I'm listening to a robot explain it. Then just give me some audio from the podcast or a video from the podcast, please. Because why am I listening to that? Here's someone else talking about it. J.K. Rowling destroys Harry Potter actors in gender wars. Oh my gosh, that one will be interesting. Dawn French has no shame. Here's why you shouldn't either. So this is probably the actual full podcast, but that's 52 minutes long, right? I don't want to listen to that. Give me Here we go. Here we go. This is gonna be it, right?
Dawn French defends good.
That's the same thing. Was that the actual video I was already on? Get out of here, man. Give me a piece of the podcast, man. Get out of here. Alright, let's click on this and see if it's got some timestamps. Any timestamps on here? They know not to let us see timestamps here. Get out of here. Alright, we're going to have to go with... That's another one that's an hour long. This is an hour long of the commentary broad. Might have to just skip this story. Look, this story is so dead. Nobody is even giving me a clip of it or like a good video on it. How about some shorts? You got any shorts? Give me a short of her talking about it. No. Alright, nobody cares. Dawn French is out of it. Nobody cares. We're going to watch this video of J.K. Rowling destroys Harry Potter actors in the gender wars. Even though this might probably just cover what we already covered last week, but it looks like a more interesting video, and it was posted 2 days ago.
Where it talks about her ripping Harry Potter stars Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson for transgender support. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. So the article goes on to say author J.K. Rowling has spent years creating controversy with her views on the transgender community that previously led to public disagreements from Harry Potter stars Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson. And Rowling is now sharing her thoughts on the two actors, along with other celebrities weighing in. On the social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter, J.K. Rowling posted a series of tweets addressing the medical evidence for transitioning children that's ever been conducted, suggesting it corroborates her controversial opinions. One follower of Rowling responded with a post that said, "Just waiting for Dan."
Is her name Rowling or Rolling? I keep doing it differently, man.
Public apology, safe in the knowledge that you will forgive them. Rowling
this guy's boring.
Post by stating how
This guy's real boring. He's really, really boring. 1 second. And I just had to put that so loud that the next video is going to like burst your eardrum because his level was so quiet. I'm seeing a bunch of people watching now. Say hello, man. Who's out there? Where's the regulars at? Yeah, this guy was boring as hell. Get him out of here. I'm just going to do one more thing. I'm going to look if I can find this an article on this. And let's just find an article on this. Should we go with what should we go with? Let me put it big. Should we go with Dawn French claims cancel culture has forced people into corners by GB News. Do we go with GB News or The Independent? What do we want to see? Which do we want to see what the right wing nutters are saying about this? Yeah, or do we want to see the kind of supposed to be left leaning centrist people are saying about this? Alright, let's see GB News. Let's go all the way. See, the way I read the caption of this a minute ago, though, sign up now, maybe later, not. It wasn't presented like this by everyone else, so obviously they're running with their angles. This shows you how the media is like a scam. Dawn French claims cancel culture has forced people into corners after challenging J.K. Rowling exchange. Is this going to be a video about it? Or is it going to be a lie?
Feel the extraordinary.
Now we're watching trailers.
Book in the Hotels.com app to find your perfect somewhere.
Trans journalist India Willoughby has reported, she claims to have reported, author J.K. Rowling to the police for an alleged hate crime. What's the hate crime? For misgendering her in online posts.
Well, Miss Rowling refused
old news, no?
to refer to Willoughby as a woman when engaging with online debates about all-female locker rooms.
But the Harry Potter author has responded, claiming that Willoughby's obsession
is a crime. It's yet to be seen.
I'm sure that's the older post that she was in trouble for, yeah. But like, shame on her for refusing to address someone how they want to be addressed. Misgendering someone is a problem. Do you know what I'm saying? If it's done for the purpose of intent of to be abusive, then yeah. And she's openly pretty much said that she's willing to do that. So that's the case. So that's it. Well, anyway, Dawn French has claimed that cancel culture has been forcing people into corners and turning people into cowards. French is known for writing and starring in BBC sketch comedy, blah, blah, blah. You're gonna give me a clip. I want a clip of her saying this. I don't trust these people's take on it. The 66-year-old recently spoke out on cancel culture and noted that many people talk about inclusivity and favouring difference and all the rest of it. That's quoted, so interesting. But that's not how we're living. She added that most people have become massively intolerant and quick to blame others, and said, she said on the Happy Place podcast, touching on the idea that cancel culture, I generally think we're being forced into corners where I can smell my own cowardice. Nah, I need to hear her saying this, man. I've had enough. I'm actually trying to find it. One sec. I'm going to go back to YouTube. I'm going to pull out the podcast and flick through it. Because if nobody's out here talking about this properly and reacting to it properly, then I need to. Dawn French has no shame.
Did a podcast with somebody actually talking about J.K. Rowling. This person said
right at
to
the
me,
start.
"You need to catch up, Dawn. People can't be constantly teaching you how to be, because this is not okay. And you need to catch up."
Can't know everything. You are not allowed to say, I don't know anymore.
I have seen people with a lot of whatever successes feeling spiritually and emotionally bereft. That part of their life, which looks all marvellous, means this part, sort of reshape it.
Can we find a bit?
Form you want to amuse or to explain or to unburden. All of those things just leave you so free of any of the shame of any of it. And it's delightful.
Is it right at the beginning?
What happened? But I actually listened back to that episode and we covered...
Successful it's been. Good for you.
But I have to thank you, because what was the impetus to make you focus on these moments in your life?
You know, like a lot of good things in life, this was a bit of a happy accident, because a bit wrong. I'll litter the show with that because that will amuse me and them. But actually, the more you talk about mistakes you've made, the more you own it and sort of reshape it into
Talking about herself, it seems
it
this ain't what I'm looking for.
To explain or to novels are one way of doing that, of immersing yourself in a character in a story. Some skills to be able to deliver story
by owning it and brightening it up. And I think it's absolutely true, but you still have to have an element of courage, or I think there's certainly things I was thinking of when I was reading your book, like, I don't know if I would still say...
Timestamp your podcast, Fern, man.
Protect yourself by not apologising to someone you think might come back into your life if that person is toxic. But because we are expected to present ourselves as perfect,
yep,
I don't like that.
Yeah,
I've never been cowardly, I hope, but I'm starting to be that because I'm being circumspect about what I will support or not in case it causes trouble.
Yeah.
You know, and even thinking
What's
about the
going on
timing
there?
of when I might say such a thing, or what might be cherry picked out of this and lambasted against me, and that forces us to shut up.
I know,
and we're not going to shut up. Haven't we lived long enough, as women especially?
I know.
You know, we that's the last thing we should do is shut up. Or, you know, put baby in the corner.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be back in the corner. And yet I am in the corner, and I really dislike it about myself and about this cultural malaise, where I just think, I'd like to support that person in what they just said there. That's going to be taken wrong because there's a whole gang of people that don't like this person. Then I'm going to be in their gang, and they wouldn't like me in that gang. And also, can I be bothered with the huge maelstrom that will come? But that means some people.
Well, then she's doing it now.
To speak up are alone.
Yeah.
Because those of us who might support them can't take on all the problems it might bring.
What
That's
a
awful.
shitty
That's cowardly
load of crap
It's
we've got
awful.
ourselves into here.
Well, how has it happened? How have people given their lives so that we could vote? How have people done so many things to push forward, and now we're in this place? It's
horrendous.
ludicrous. Like you, I don't know how to unpick it. I remember. I mean, I've got a lot of young people in my.
So I'm wondering. Obviously, I'm thinking that I've gone past the J.K. Rowling thing. So I'm going to pull up a little and see if that's what led to that. But if that's what she's saying, like, you're being so broad, and that's because she is being cowardly. Yeah, she's saying it's cowardly. It's saying it would be cowardly not to support, when she's saying she won't support these people because she might of what people might say. So she is being cowardly. Also, you're being completely broad. So you're not standing on any points. You're not saying. So you're broadly saying, we shouldn't be allowed to hold them accountable for the things they say and do. They don't want accountability, basically.
Even if you know that your intent was good, but you still got it wrong, which happens all the time for all out of the parenting model, we forget how unbelievable
experience to me, and by listening to you, and also knowing, and this is key, knowing that your intent is good.
Forget intent.
If
Intent never matters.
Intent is not good, or there's another purpose to your intent. Of course, I'm going to be suspicious. And again, human beings operate on 1,000 sophisticated levels. So I'll be feeling a bit of that as you start telling me your opinions. I'll think, she's got another agenda. But if your intent is good, and we sit here...
Nonsense. If your intent is good and you make a mistake, cool. Then when we come with the accountability, you won't have a problem with it. Because you'll go, my intent was good, I got that wrong. And then you'll put your intent in the right place. If your intent is good, but you completely do something that's discriminating on an entire community, whatever it may be, that it has a negative outcome. Yeah, if you don't intend to be racist, but you walk around, I guess even just white privilege in general as a concept, people who don't intend to kind of reap the benefits of it, but then go around rubbing it in people's faces without realizing that their intent is like, I didn't mean to, it's not my fault. But then when it comes around, you realize you're actually causing a discrimination to someone. And then you start going, I don't care, my intent was fine, so, and then get all aggressive. Then your intent doesn't really matter. Like, I always say intent doesn't matter, only outcome. Of course, intent can be taken on board when we are learning and when we're moving forward, but they want to use, it seems like here, intent as a get-out clause.
And you tell me your other opinion or how you came to it I'm going to understand that.
Yeah, and could still happily disagree. Lovely.
Could happily disagree or could change my mind and agree. And that would be a win.
That's the point, but they're not doing that.
But it's impossible if what we've got to do is hunker back into our positions, defend them by spitting and being furious. And
don't hunker back.
And cancelling.
Yeah. Don't hunker back. Don't pull back, yeah? Don't pull back, but don't shut us down with this, oh, you're just blaming and cancelling. No, because that's the part that's shutting the conversation down, yeah? If you was cool, I'm gonna freely say what my opinion, which you can. Nobody's stopping anybody doing that. Nobody's stopping J.K. Rowling. She's doing it. Nothing bad's really happening to her. Cool. So she's getting on with it, doing her thing, saying what she feels. Now, some of us are pushing back on that and going, okay, well, this is the issue with what you've said, yeah? And she just said, if I was able to do that, I might learn, I might change my mind, we might agree to disagree. None of that's happening because they won't allow us to speak back. It's like we just have to take everything they say, everything that's said from the conservative side has to be unchallenged. Otherwise, they start calling out this cancel culture, which I've told everybody for so long, it doesn't exist. It's fake, and she's just proven it's fake because the whole example she's given of what it is isn't really real. It isn't real in her example. Do you know what I'm saying? She's saying, they're just cancelling us. If I'd be able to have this conversation, well, that's what we're doing. We're having that conversation. But you shutting down what we're saying and brushing it off as us just cancelling is you doing that.
Be like that.
And shaming, I think that's become really normal, shaming other humans. And I think
we can shame people,
unbelievably dangerous that is for the beneficiary of that
shame. People do something shameful, shame them.
We've been shamed in our lives.
And they can still come back. They can still do their thing.
Yeah. I was thinking about it reading your book. I remember this really harmless moment, but being probably 5 or 6 at school and drawing a picture of a house as I'd been told to do. And my dad, who was a sign writer, used to kind of sketch and use this real sort of wishy-washy way of using his pencil. So I thought, well, I'm just going to copy my dad. He's a professional. And I got so told off and shamed in front of the class for not colouring it in completely and neatly. And that's something that happened when I was 5. We don't forget these moments.
No, we don't.
And
boy, Fern is throwing herself in the firing line here as well, you know. She's talking about drawing as a 5-year-old, and she's basically here. She knows what she's talking about. You're comparing it to a culture of transphobia, homophobia, misogyny, racism, murder, like assault. Like, what are you lot on about? Honestly, like, what kind of generic nonsense are you just trying to like blanket everything with here? Load of nonsense.
I think that's luckily slowly coming out of the parenting model and the school model, but it hasn't come out of how we're communicating on social media.
No, it hasn't, but as you have grown through that and remember the sting of that awful moment, you also know now as an adult that that person was wrong to do that to you. So you might forgive them for it because they got it wrong. And you have to hope with good intent they had some other agenda. They mistook your creativity. They're
having a shit
day. Anything.
Yeah.
Let's forgive that because that can go.
But let's not compare that.
You know, as an adult, they were wrong. You don't have to carry it as you were wrong.
Yeah.
It's not yours. I have learnt this again with age, that kind of apology that isn't to put a bit of a protective cloak around ourselves by spitting out spike.
I think the only way to react to this probably would be to do the whole thing. I don't know. Obviously, we saw the part which was about putting a corner. I wanted to find where she mentioned J.K. Rowling specifically, but I'm not doing the whole thing, man. She can get out of here. I may find it at some point, and if someone puts up a edit of it, is there a little short here? Here's a short of it. I was trying to look for one. Let's just see what this says.
I'm not interested in perfect, successful people. I don't believe it for a second. We know this.
Oh, it's like about bollocks.
The more you talk about mistakes you've made, the more you own it. All of those things just leave you so free of any of the shame of any of it. And I thought, blimey, this is something I should have been doing all along. And then I thought, but I have been doing this because this is what I do with my beloveds. When you see a friend, you don't tell them your marvellous successes where you've been perfect.
Alright, cool. Whatever. Alright, we're going to come to that later. Anyone who didn't see me in the beginning, I'm ill. I may choke on this show. But anyway, Tom MacDonald. I ain't done a Tom MacDonald video in a while. We started when we done the relaunch of the show on Tom MacDonald reactions. He dropped another one. This on the side here's Tom finally responds. Here's like another. That's like a reaction video, but he's saying rapper reacts to. What's this one? Tom MacDonald. So he's saying Tom's responding. Who's he responding to? Us? He's responding to all of us lot that have been calling him out. Obviously, that's what his entire music's about. Alright, let's see what this garbage is saying.
I've been hearing that they think my political music is boring. Tell them
Yes.
I'm sorry. I've been rapping about things that I feel are important. I could talk about how rich I am, all these little rappers that I'm bigger than. I could show you the impact addiction had, how the liquor turned me to a different man. I'm not the kid who was visiting Disneyland.
You're not bigger than them. Yeah, because you're not in rap. You're over there. Nobody cares about you. In rap, you're tiny.
I'm not a perfect Christian, have a sinner's past, but I sobered up, prescriptions hit the trash. Now I'm sitting back with 50 billboard plaques, $20 million and a million fans, middle finger.
What did he say? 50 billboard plaques. I don't know how do you get a billboard plaque for each sale or that? I don't know what he's talking about, bro. Because he done that one thing. He did chart. He went top 20, yeah, with that one, and then he dropped another one since then. Most of you probably don't even know that because he done a whole thing like, oh, can we get this one in the charts as well? No, it didn't break the top 100, 200, nothing.
Fingers flipping back. I'm so independent, so they get the message. I've been spitting facts. I'm not a fiction fan. I am the truth. I am the GOAT. I am the proof. You can reach every one of your goals. You can be too drunk, way too high, but it's never too late to have hope. I am the one. I'm gonna preach. You can reach every one of your dreams. You can be up against the whole entire world, and you can beat them if you just believe. They've been saying I'm Illuminati and I'm going to hell. They're desperately searching for any excuse to explain why I've done what they can't do themselves.
He's not saying anything here that's annoying me. Like he's not saying anything racist like he usually does. Yeah, and that word, throwing that word out there will trigger everybody anyway. But yeah, you know, this is the guy who usually plays on race themes and all that kind of stuff. I mean, oh gosh, this is 8.5 minutes long. We've got a whole 8 minutes left, so he's got time. He's got time to piss me off. Let's see.
Only way they can make sense of my famous claim. I worship Satan and labels of help. I don't have an advantage. It's natural talent. Your ego is damaged. Admit that you failed. I remember back when I was the only political rapper. What the hell happened? All of a sudden.
What? I remember when I was the only political rapper. Are you having a laugh, mate? You're the only right-wing political rapper. The only racist political rapper. Probably not the only, the biggest. I remember when I saw that thing that Wayne Webster shared, and it was like, remember when Tom MacDonald came out, he used to make these video memes, and it was like the white Kendrick Lamar. So you're already basing yourself on another political rapper. At the time, he was trying to like get clout off. So stop having a laugh, mate. Be serious.
Everyone who never gave a damn got political and started rapping. Tragic, I should be flattered. Man, I created the genre, they practically jacked it. Acting like they're in the conversation, they ain't nowhere near it on a different planet. This is not YouTube, this is...
Listen, man, I wish Terror Slim was in the chat because I don't even say the guy's name anymore. Yeah, the guy over here that I had my little first problems with like this. But if you're saying someone created this alt-right, right-wing, white people, white pride rap, it's not you. There's someone else over here created it. He's the godfather to you. Yeah, let's give him his flowers.
This upper echelon, president of Sony on my telephone. I get what I want, how I want, when I want, until the day that I'm dead and gone. The internet in love with beef, they want rappers at war. But I don't care who's coming at me, I swore that I wouldn't do disses no more. The last time I battled, the man that I trampled lost his career and then had a divorce. That wasn't fair, homie got torched. I feel the weight like I'm carrying around a corpse. Still no deal, still no team, still just little old me. Still making fun of the whole industry, still rap on my own beats. I'm the only multi-millionaire in my family tree. I keep hearing rumors that my parents rich and that's how I got in the lead. That's a big L-I-E. If you want to know the truth, I guess I can show you why I move like this. Let me take you back into my head, tell you about the movie I live. Former alcoholic, nothing in my wallet. Every doctor said that I was depressed. Should be in a coffin or inside a cardboard box and addicted to meth. I was sleeping on my best friend couch. I was dreaming of a West End house. We was living in a basement, sweet east side, praying we'd get out. Motorcycles on the front lawn, bunch of crackheads in the alley. Open up my bedroom window and tell them there's empty bottles they can have.
Stop shouting, bruh. He's trying to prove himself here, isn't it? He's trying to prove himself with an 8-minute. Was Eminem? It was corny when even Eminem did it. What did he say? God, I can't even remember what Eminem called that trash. Even the Eminem one was trash. Yeah, he's excited, man. He's excited. He's been dissed by all the real rappers. They've all said he's trash. So he's here like, I'ma show you who I am. He's an angry little man. But let him get off.
Cops at the door, I couldn't sleep, making up noodles to eat for a week. I couldn't stomach the food I was making if I wasn't high, so I always had weed. Leaving the crib and the neighbors are tripping, I flip them the bird, I ain't stopping to talk. They leaving us notes on the passenger window, cause we always park in the whip in they spot. 10 in the morning, we sipping on 40s and taking the Honda Civic up the block. Looking for one of my homies who living on the street, cause he got addicted to rock. Waiting in line at church, they giving out food. I would pull up every second Sunday, get some hard-boiled eggs and juice. That was the move. I was a broke boy, then I blew up. I was suicidal, yeah, the mood sucked. Now I've been rich, I done made hits. I've been praying, I don't screw it up. And now that I've blown up, they're mad that I've grown up. They missing my old stuff. They say my political music's all sounding the same and the flows suck. I'm never gonna be the old Tom or recapture the magic.
Tom, mate, you only blew up by doing political rap. No, there is nobody out there, nobody who are your fans saying they want the old Tom stop being political. The only people who like you are racist white people who like your political songs. That's why they don't even like this. They're not going to like this very much. This isn't going to do very well. You know what I'm saying? Like, the other song he did in between that was like, meh, whatever, didn't do well either. It only works when you do some kind of clickbait title to try and get attention, blah, blah, blah. I see what he's trying, like I said, he's tried to go extra hard with the rap. Let me show you I can rap. Let me do this Eminem thing, copy Eminem, and then maybe I'll get some views for rapping. But yeah, we'll see, mate.
Of old songs, I don't know, Tom. You the GOAT, Tom. Give me what I want or I will go, Tom. Shut up! I'm not the guy that you fell in love with back when I was young and dumb. Always getting drunk, taking hella drugs, living in the ghetto, no food for a month. Couldn't pay the power bill, the shower filled with towels, mold, and hella bugs. That was the old Tom, that was broke Tom. Stop saying you miss who I was. Now you can give me all the Gucci, give me all the Louis, give me everything I want at once. Give me Lamborghinis, give me all my flowers, give you everything I have just to be loved. Now they call me racist and they say I'm canceled, but I guarantee you that there will be blood. I ain't going nowhere, I ain't stopping nothing, I'ma really go there, I don't give a I'm the best thing going right now, they can't mess with me. I've been up, I've been down, I climbed out my grave, I've been great. Wait, before today, and I'll be great till I decide to walk away. And I'm the one you have to thank for every independent artist getting Billboard plaques. I showed everybody.
No, stop trying to take like what. This is the thing with this guy. Drop the ego, bro. Yeah, you're not the first independent nothing. Yeah. Jay-Z was doing that how many years ago? Like, you're not the first rapper to come and create an independent hype. You're using that as a buzzword to get followers and sell merch or whatever. Yeah, you're not that guy, and you're not really blown up anywhere. You're a, you know what I'm saying? You're like viral. You know what I'm saying? Viral post rapper. You know what I'm saying? You're just trying to go viral off of controversy, not songs. You've never gone viral because, oh my god, this guy's song bangs and we're gonna hear it in the club. Never.
Buddy, how to beat the record labels and still I don't get no thanks. Everybody
even that, like, it's with the award going, didn't even Macklemore do that? Even when Macklemore won a thing, wasn't it independent and all that? Like, bare people have done that. Anyway, get out of here, man.
You've been hating on me, copies every little thing I'm doing. I mean, they dress like me, sign CDs, no one is buying their music. I'm the blueprint for these YouTube kids. Every single little view you get, every time you get an iTunes check, you just imitate what I do best. I'm on Fox News, I'm on Rolling Stone, in the New York Times, on the radio, got 1 billion views, Millie on the gram. You still paying to be verified, man. I am the reason that Billboard removed all the digital sales charts off their website. I was outperforming label artists and executives pressured them to hit the red light.
Lies.
Warner Music's.
Lies. Like, every single time this guy made a claim about the chart, I've looked and it wasn't there. So I don't believe a word this guy says. The entire career was built on lies.
Sony CEOs wanted me dead, but they ain't never gonna really kill me. They just cancel the digital charts instead. Stop telling me that anyone else is bigger than I am. Go get the Nielsen SoundScan numbers. Tell me what you find, man. Who's the biggest I am? They're angry that I love America.
And when he said digital charts, yeah, I'm assuming, yeah, he's talking about digital download sales. Yeah, all music's digital now, whatever. Like, he's talking about digital MP3 downloads. Yeah, they cancelled those long time ago. They announced cancelling them, and for some reason I think it just hung around. Like when they removed iTunes, and it just, I don't know, it just left it there for certain people, whatever. Like, but it's meaningless, literally meaningless. Like I've been on that chart myself. Nobody, you know what I'm saying, he's never heard of me. Nobody's heard of me. Cool. I've been on that chart myself because all you need to do is a few little sales because nobody buys down. Why would you buy a download when it's on YouTube, when it's on Spotify? Like, it's ridiculous. So him trying to claim, oh my God, the digital something chart, a meaningless chart that can be bought, that he can pay for himself just by paying for downloads. It's a joke.
Guess it's a problem because I'm Canadian. I live in the States. I gave 200 grand to the veterans. I am a patriot. I am a faking.
Wait, I'm always calling him out for not repping his Canadian roots, yeah? How can you say it's because I'm Canadian when the biggest rapper in the world is Canadian? The biggest rapper in the world is Canadian, and he reps Canada. You're being a US patriot, while Drake is repping Canada, yeah? He lives in America too, but he reps Canada.
I live in the States. I gave 200 grand to the veterans. I am a patriot. I am not faking this. I don't need to keep on making hits. Could have retired 3 years ago, basically. Go check my bank account, buddy. I'm crazy rich. I don't need money. I rap because I'm made for this. I am only doing this because I love it. I told every record label they can shove it. Rappers hate on me, but I'm above it. 93 Shawn Michaels, everyone can suck it. They want photos when they see me out in public. Then they trash me in the comments. What a bummer. I sign autographs and spill my guts and stomach. All I get is people praying that I'll plummet. I came a long way. Dreamt of this all day. I should have saw graves, but God saves. I got faith. What a loser. I needed boost to maneuver. Bottles of hooch in the cooler. Now I'm the proof that you can choose to be a trooper and regroup and pursue a future, be a ruler. Screw all the rumors. I know the dudes will be acting stupid on computers. Hate is a fuel that humans can use to improve themselves if they don't let their wounds ruin their movement. You can do it and then you can lose it. You can choose to view it through some different pupils. You can shoot for the moon if you miss it, recoup it, and then execute it so you make it through it. There ain't no excuses. The rules are confusing, so break them and use them to find the solution. The truth is you're losing till you are immune and you turn the abuse into your revolution. I've been addicted to plenty of pills, poor and mentally ill. If I can do it, you can do it. I went from homeless and drunk to turning down record deals. I done got so many wins that I forget the win. So many plaques inside the crib, they getting hard to live. They so jealous, I'm just glad that I ain't them. Thank God I ain't them. They got money, they got pennies, they got dollars, but they ain't making any sense. They got hundreds, they got thousands. I got 10, 11, 15, 20 something names. But this ain't always what my life was like. Honestly, it still give me chills. Way before all of my viral songs, before I was living in Beverly Hills, way before I went and sobered up, back when me and Brandon couldn't pay the bills, way back when I should have been locked up, overdosed or getting killed. My sister called me from the hospital, said her job's killing her, and that was a fact. She working overtime often, out of options, having panic attacks. Didn't let her finish talking, told her walk in and to quit and call back. Next thing I know, she's in California and she's working for Hangover Gang. And Daddy always told me I was special and one day I would conquer the music business. And I guess he was right, because look at my life. I just bought him a new Porsche for Christmas, and Mama worked harder than any woman on earth. Her boss would have never have fired her. I recognized they weren't giving her what she was worth, so I retired.
I really wonder, obviously these guys are the wrong ones responsible for this little cretin. Do you know what I mean? I was about to say the Patriots, but if they're Canadian, I don't know. Maybe deep down they're ashamed of him, to be honest.
This ain't white privilege, this ain't trust fund, this ain't good luck, this ain't silver spoon, this is hard work, this is long nights, this is all me, this is what I do, this is racism.
This is white supremacy. He said this is not white privilege. Yes, it is. That's what it is. It's exactly what it is. And he knows it. He actually knows it because he intentionally manufactured it. Yeah, he intentionally used it to sell his product to a specific audience who goes for that. Like, stop lying, bro. Yeah, if you're gonna, like, you have gone all the way out to be the white, the white supremacist rapper. Just own it. Just own it, bro.
Palm trees and Ferraris and a calm breeze and a pretty view. If you don't believe I deserve it, then you never lived the life I did and you wouldn't make it through. I came out of city where I still don't get no respect. I moved away and I blew up and everyone else is still stuck in the town that I left. I'm not impressed, and they've been saying my video views are all fake, and I honestly hope it helps get them some rest. I'm worth like $30 million dollars. All you bums are living check to check. Now everybody is an enemy. They all jealous that I'm a celebrity. Well, screw them, screw the government, screw the record label, screw the mainstream. I'm in God mode, they in beast mode. We are not the same, we ain't equals, and I pray to God that you can deep throat. Got 11 inches for you weak hoes. Y'all cannot critique me, y'all ain't in my league still. All your hate completes me, I can't be killed. Y'all just wanna be me, maybe be chill. Leave them bleeding in a wheat field. All my my missiles heat seek. You can beat me, homie, keep still. I can tell that you don't eat meat. Ton of green beans, you a vegan when the beef's real. Everybody's saying I'm fake, but they're the ones who really faking though. And their songs all on YouTube. Well, my song's on the radio. They claim they hate fame, but they change when they need streams. Then they say names
Struggling.
and play games and take aim and hate on me. Wait, I got one more thing I gotta say. I don't need any more money. These days I just do it for all of my fans. I pray to God I inspire somebody or show someone who thinks they can't that they can. I'ma keep going till I'm in a coffin. I promise no stopping till I kick the can. To the day that they're dropping my box in the ground, it's Hangover Gang.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Trying way too hard. Desperate. Pathetic. Interesting, he's rapping all about money. I've never really noticed him do that. And obviously I've only I reacted to his most recent videos when we were starting, and then I went back to the beginning. So there's a load of videos in between I've missed. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like that's just off the back of he had his one chart hit the other day. So he's coming out gassed. Which whatever, man. But like, do you think anybody cares about hearing you rap about money? That you used white supremacy to get, that you used racism, you got all that money off the back of black people, off the back of black culture, while disrespecting it to an audience full of racist white people. That's not impressive. Racism's easy. Racism is one of the most popular things in the world. You sold the easiest product there is. You know what I'm saying? And you should be ashamed of yourself. So yeah, get out of here, man. I'm just gonna click on this short while we're at it. Is this an old one though? Because I responded to this one before, not welcome in hip hop.
I ain't never gonna pretend that I give a damn. Anybody who's offended, come get it, we throwing hands. Anybody not trying to make America great again. You a punk, you a clown, better know where I stand. I'm a white boy.
That's from a song I probably ain't done yet. Anyone not trying to make America great again. Donald Trump, racist slogan. Get out of here, man. And this is why cancel culture don't exist. His man talk about cancel culture all day. Then, you know what I'm saying? He talks about being cancelled, but you're not cancelled. It's made you bigger and bigger. You saying this stuff has made you bigger and bigger. It's made you money. That's what you're talking about. That's why it's made you money. So get the hell out of here, man. Simple shit. I think I'm going to get to the Amber Heard thing, because I don't want to leave that till late. And there's a few other things I want to do, but I guess we'll
X-Men
do them
97
after.
just made Marvel.
Yeah, X-Men 97, you heard it. So I want to do something about X-Men 97, and there's a music video I want to look at. But most importantly, this is the Amber Heard thing. So, alright, give me 1 second. None of my regulars are here today, because I got viewers, but none of my regulars are in the chat. So, I've got all kind of voice messages getting sent to me as well, but I can't just play them out loud. There could be all sorts of madness. 1 second. There was something on my Facebook that I wanted to put on the screen and I completely forgot what it is. So I'm just going to look on my all to just remind myself. Post about gatekeepers is for... Oh, no, there's a post there. Yeah. There's a post there about the London mayor election. I do want to talk about that because I was kind of pointed out to me. Chris Hayes is in the house, said I'm late. All good, man. Well, if you just joined, you just missed me doing the latest. You just dropped me doing the latest Tom MacDonald video, and now Stephen Trafford's here saying good evening. Now you man are making me not want to do the Amber Heard thing straight away. I was just about to do the Amber Heard thing, but I know that's neither of you two really are here for that. Neither of you two are really here for that. I'm gonna do something else mad random. Yeah, this is another thing I was gonna do. And it's a mad one. I don't know if you lot saw my video before, where I called it like it was about TikTok, nonces on TikTok, yeah, noncy behavior on TikTok, whatever. There's a whole story. This rapper here, Cobra Kane, and this girl C-Baddie, Stephen Trafford said, I'm in the big smoke tonight, staying in Southwark. Nice one, bro. welcome to the city. Enjoy. Hope they're doing something fun or seeing people or whatever you're up to. But this was going off on TikTok, yeah? This brother here was getting called out for doing songs and hanging around with this girl who's 20 years old. And he's like, they were calling him 50, yeah? He's mid-40s. I know the guy personally. I know him well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've worked with him loads. I made a mixtape with him once, me and 2 other rappers. It never came out. It really wasn't like something I needed to come out on that in any way. Probably wasn't that good, to be honest. But it was just something I did at a time when he was just local and it was something to do. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. But yeah, so he's getting called out for all kind of creepy behaviour with this girl, right? And I know some people go, oh, yeah, she's legal. I don't really play with all of that. And I don't care if it's my friend, someone I know, whatever. I'm going to pull it up and say no. So I already called him and said, bro, like, what's going on? Like, look at all these comments coming at you. Don't you get it? Like, it's not right. What's going on? And the way you're presenting it is dodgy. And then there was a thing when they'd gone live and she was in his bed. And then he started making jokes about what she tastes like. And like, so he's been getting rinsed. And then for ages, this video weren't coming out because of all of that kind of controversy. And my issue with it, like, one of my biggest issues, which I said to him straight, I said, bro, it's like you're doing anything for fame. Like, you're kind of playing into the nonsense of it. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's why I want to watch this video on the show. I don't care. I don't care if I know the guy. If he's doing weird shit, I'm going to call you out. If I'm not feeling it, behave yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? And let me just say, the girl, C. Badley, who's on this song, she's a huge TikTok star, right? So he's basically taken her, wrote a song for her, said, oh, I'm going to blow you up kind of thing. He's put himself on the song. What I said to him is, you shouldn't have put yourself on the song, because your image as a, like, you know what I'm saying, mid-40s man, yeah, doesn't match with the image of a 20-year-old girl, especially when her content's quite sexual and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So a 20-year-old sexual content rapper and a pushing 50-year-old man, that doesn't look right. So I said, what you're doing, if you want to help the girl, then help her and do it. Don't be inappropriate and keep yourself off the song because you're making it look weird. Obviously, yeah, Chris Hayes is saying, come on, let's hear her terrible song, yeah? But I don't want to, you lot are going to rinse her and that as well. I just want to say, I'm not here cussing her. I think she should have had her chance to do this on her own and that he's made it creepy and made it not as viable. You know what I'm saying? And that's a shame because I don't think she's in the wrong here and anything. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to see, I guess I got to watch it after all this time. So, and after I've already spoken on it. So yeah, all right. Let's see what I got on. And also it's on Graham Daily. Yeah, that's the other thing I think it was holding him up because he wanted to get it onto Graham Daily, yeah. I've already looked at the comments. They're going mental, saying, how could Graham Daily put this up? This is terrible. Ugh.
See, buddy, first track in the making. What are you saying, people? Let's go. Cocaine on the beat. My name is C. Buddy. Wanna jump on live with me? They get smoked like Cali. I don't hide my face like keep seeing a ballet. I don't bounce around like bands and fuck Mali. Cause I'm more than a TikTok galley. My name is C. Baddy. You don't wanna ever fuck with me. You get a black eye like Sydney. Dash to the ring like Frisbee. Get eaten like snake and kidney. C. Baddy, I'm a bad girl. Big women, no pitney. None of these girls can at me. You get taken to the ring quickly. The man them text me, subscribing cause I'm too sexy. Don't vex me, blood bubble like Pepsi. Might have to call up my girl Lexi. I'm always spending.
What are you saying, Chris? Fire, yeah? Fire. He said he already said her terrible song. I don't think it's that terrible, if I'm honest. I don't think it's terrible. The chorus and the beat, like it works. It works for her, what she's got going on. There's a lot of people cussing her and saying she needed a stylist and all this and the thing. Like, you know, I'm not really playing into that. It's okay.
It ain't my fault that I'm trending. Don't ask me, I ain't lending. My name is C. Baddy. Wanna jump on live with me, they get smoked like Cali. I don't hide my face like keep seeing a ballet. I don't bounce around like bands and fuck Mali. Cause I'm more than a TikTok galley. My name is C. Baddy. Wanna jump on live with me, they get smoked like Cali. I don't hide my face like keep seeing a ballet. I don't bounce around like bands and fuck Mally. Cause
Shout out Gleam in the chat. Said not massively bad. Heard worse. Defo. Yeah, I think it's all right. This is why I said they should to the brother. He should leave himself off. Do you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I ain't heard his part. I heard a clip of it before. I was shocked when I saw he had a clip of him. When I was like, why would you like let her? If she's got like 500,000 followers on TikTok just from being a TikToker or whatever. She's never done music before, so this could be a moment for her. But I feel like there's certain things that's ruined it. Obviously, the whole dynamic of this older guy kind of creeping around her has tainted it massively. Do you know what I'm saying? As the main thing. And anyway, I ain't seen nothing inappropriate so far though, to be honest. Although he wrote the lyrics, and I did say this to him on the phone. I said, "Bro, you're writing some mad like sexual lyrics for a young girl as well. Like, unless she was there going, oh, this is what I want to say. I want to say this." You know what I'm saying? You're just working on the wordplay. Stephen Trafford said, "I'm not going to hate on her looks or persona. I think my 9-year-old could write better." And you typed that before I just said that he wrote the lyrics for it. Listen, I don't think the writing's that bad though, because I think I know you're like an Akala fan, and I know the type of rap you're into, so I get why you would say that. But I can also appreciate something that's written for a different audience. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I would get why he would write it in this. Anyway, let's see the rest of it.
I'm more than a TikTok galley. My name is C777-666. HS and me in big cars and whips. I don't mind if it's pussy or dicks. I don't drive around with fake tits. Hum in my face, I'm like, what? You can't take what I got. I don't do no 9 to 5, cause I'm not a robot,
See, this verse is bad. That verse is bad, but I see people saying something about that robot, and then Stephen Trafford said, "I'm not fussed about the relationship. If she's old enough to vote, she's old enough to date this dude." Red flag for you, bro. Red flag for you. Red flag for you, mate. She's not dating him. She's saying she's not in it. But, nah, I'm not hearing that, bro. Like, if old enough to vote means you're old enough to date anyone, that's paedophilia in my eyes. Because at the end of the day, an 18-year-old who's old enough to vote, I got an 18-year-old child. She's a child, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? A man who's pushing 50 coming around her is a creep. And that's not, you know what I'm saying? That is not what we should just be normalising in society. It's been normalised from years ago, you know what I'm saying? But Chris Hayes said, "Scream." But anyway, like I said, them little lyrics there, that was the bit where it was a bit sexual. It's not over the top sexual and that though, I guess. But yeah.
Wise like Penny, don't play around cause I'm not a dumb gelly. I sip girls pum like Henny. Maybe I've drunk one too many. I used to call her Mum Zeno until she turned to crack Zeno. She tried to sell me crack kilo, didn't take.
I saw a comment about that pouring. About when he pours drink in her mouth and that, and I thought, what is it? Him doing it is what I thought straight away. Also, this song, she's doing 2 verses. Songs nowadays are 2 verses. That's it. So once after this, she's done the second verse. That's where the song should have ended.
She tried to sell me crack kilo, didn't take it. My name is C Buddy. Wanna jump on live with me? They get smoked like Cali. I don't hide my face like keep seeing a bally. I don't bounce around like bands and fuck Mally. Cause I'm more than a TikTok galley. My name is C Buddy. Wanna jump on live with me? They get smoked like Cali. I don't hide my face like keep seeing a bally. I don't bounce around like bands and fuck Mally. Cause I'm more than a TikTok galley. My name is C-Buddy.
C-Buddy brings smoke in the ring. Cobra Kane brings smoke on the spot. C-Buddy knows she's out to win. Cobra Kane.
And also, he told me that he wore a mask like this throughout the whole thing so that it doesn't look weird for her. And he was saying, because I was hunting him up on the phone. I've called this guy. I've spoke to him. I've told him, right, what are you doing around this young girl, and why are you in her bed? Why are you saying nasty things about her on the internet? And like he's telling me, oh, nothing's going on with her. Do you know what I'm saying? Stephen said, "If it was my daughter, then different story. But it's not my life. Who am I to judge? I've seen worse. My cousin married a 42-year-old when she was 17. They're still together 15 years, in fact." Yeah. I mean, but listen, I got family that's done similar things like that as well, very long time ago. Do you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, yeah, I think that's creepy. What you're saying to me there, no disrespect to nobody, but when you're saying to me, what you're saying to me there, I think it's very creepy. 17, wow. But, yeah, any of these kind of situations, like, if it was an actual relationship, and then you look and they go, I stayed together 15 years and it was all healthy and all of that, do you know what I'm saying? That's better than when it's just someone manipulating someone for fame here, do you know what I'm saying? Or like getting them drunk, do you know what I'm saying? And just there's a whole kind of grooming situation going on where is what you can see. These guys were doing that on the internet. And let me just add as well that this brother, I'm coming for him today, you know. I don't even mean to, because like I say, I've known this guy for years. But I told him all this thing's mad, yeah. But this brother has been called out before for similar things. There was a page calling him a nonce and all of this that got put online. It turned out that I think they found out who made the page and it was a setup and it was fake or whatever. But it's like smoke and fire. Like how many times it's going to happen about one person? And I said to him like, bro, when you've had these things said about you before, why would you not be more like mindful? Do you know what I'm saying? Why would you not be like, what are you? And that's why I say, are you trying to push this image to get like views on TikTok or something? Like, because that's disturbing to me. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, pull up his verse. I don't. Like, all of this, like, to be honest, all of this I'm saying is in the context of what I've seen so far already and things that have bothered me. I'm not like seeing anything in his videos so much that has in that way, I guess.
I don't bounce around like bands, I'm fuck Mally, cause I'm more than a TikTok galley. My name is C-Buddy.
C-Buddy brings smoke in the ring. Cobra Kane brings smoke on the spot. C-Buddy knows she's out to win. Cobra Kane knows he's got it on lock. If I pull out the gun and get lyrical, straight down your throat, you will beg me to stop. C-Buddy, with the mic in her hand and it's hot, she'll go straight to the top. Talk crazy, sit the hen, get wavy. Man blazy till my eyes get lazy. Can't be broke cause TikTok always pays me. Like Cheyenne, the trolls, they don't faze me. Don't know me, on the ball like goalie. Top boy, burn off your face like moldy. Hold them up like a trophy, lyrically nice and slowly.
My name is C-Buddy. Wanna jump on live with me, they get smoked like Cali.
See, the song just didn't need that verse, bro. It just didn't need that verse. I'm saying, a man he's making it about himself. And look at it, Cobra Kane, you can't even see it there, yeah? Like, the video is listed as Cobra Kane times C-Buddy, like him first. You know what I'm saying? I know he produced it and all of that, but he's just running out of opportunity because she's TikTok famous. You know what I'm saying? He's got a little buzz on TikTok or whatever, but nothing like her. So it's like, just let the girl have her shine, man.
I don't hide my face like keep seeing a ballet. I don't bounce around like bands, I'm fuck Mally, cause I'm more than a TikTok galley. My name is C-Buddy. Wanna jump on live with me, they get smoked like Cali. I don't hide my face like keep seeing a ballet. I don't bounce around like bands, I'm fuck Mally, cause I'm more than a TikTok galley. My name is C-Buddy.
I'm gonna leave that there, man. Cobra Kane, C-Buddy. The song's even called C-Buddy. Big up C-Buddy, innit? Big her up. Big her up for making her music debut. I think, like Stephen Trafford said, not a fan of this rap. It's like really shit pop. Yeah. And he said, I'm with you on that, dude. I'm not down with grooming. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I just like when it's just someone taking advantage of someone, and there's no, you know. I know I said I don't care about intentions on something on a different thing previously, but yeah, like I've had guys say, yeah, you hear this a lot when guys are normalizing, like, oh yeah, she's 20 years old, yeah, I'll beat that. I see Young Spray saying it on a podcast the other day. Let me not put ages in the thing, yeah, but then man say, oh, I wouldn't wife it. Don't worry, I wouldn't wife her. You know what I'm saying? It's just a beat. I'm almost like, well, that's worse, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's worse. Because, one sec, my thing just got blurry. I'm giving a good speech here, man. Yeah, like, that's worse. Is it not better that if you did, like, you know what I'm saying? If you did treat her right, look after her, have a healthy relationship, do you know what I'm saying? All of that kind of stuff. Chris Hayes said, well, she had a go. Good luck to her. Stephen said, like something Simon Cowell pumps out every year, generic crap. Yeah, I mean, it's a TikTok song. They're TikTok stars, isn't it? So it's like they've packaged something for TikTok, but they're putting it on Graham Daily. And if you look at like, I don't really want to rinse her for the comments and that. But it's like, yeah, the worst video I've ever seen. No, it's not. They're not calling that the Nancy thing because it's not actually really apparent in here. Do you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I'm gonna leave it there. Big her up, yeah. Big her up, because I don't never ever try and put someone down, especially a young person trying to do their thing creatively and trying to build and have a career, yeah. I don't want that getting blocked by some of these things I'm addressing today. And what I said to him on the phone, I was like, you shouldn't have put yourself on that song. He could have just took himself off there. But he ended up, he said they had a next song coming they were working on, where they were like going to be going back to back, going, oh, fuck these lot, or like dissing people in the who's coming at them in the comments, who's coming at them, holding them accountable for inappropriate behavior and stuff like that. And I just said to him, bro, that is not it. Stop making yourself the star. Just focus on her. And he said to me, do you know what, you're right, I'm going to cancel that song. The next song's just going to be her. That's what he said to me, yeah? And he's going to produce a song for her, boom, boom, boom. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. Because I think you're not giving her opportunity here in the way this is being packaged, if I'm being honest. And with the kind of controversies just surrounding around it, it's just not giving her due shot. Do you know what I'm saying? But anyway, big her up. And we'll keep it moving. Right, there's 3 other things I wanted to do today. Since I got some people in the chat, maybe you can choose with me. I'm probably going to leave the Amber Heard stuff to the end, because I don't know if that wasn't, yeah, because I know Stephen always leaves when I do the Amber Heard thing. And he's just said I'm criticising the song, not her. She's got more balls than me putting herself out there. Yeah. Well, she performed the song. He wrote the song, produced the song. I think she did pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I think what he's written for her works better than what he's written for himself or writes for himself. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that style he writes works more for that young artist. Yeah. So I'm like big her up on that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the other things I was gonna cover. I wanted to cover the London mayor election. I wanted to go through some things about the candidates on that. I wanted to cover something about X-Men 97. All these people complaining about Marvel being too woke. And I wanted to cover something about Danny Dyer talking about his son being a fan of Andrew Tate. And then I wanted to do the Amber Heard thing. But when I do the Amber Heard thing, that's going to take me like an hour. I'll probably do that at the end. So what are you lot saying on them things I just said? X-Men, Danny Dyer, or the London mayor election? The reason I want to do the London mayor election, I haven't been paying any attention to it, and I haven't been paying attention to anything to politics since Corbyn was gone. But they sent a brochure through my door, so I started looking at all these candidates, and I was like, right, there's like 3 different proper right wing mad people in the candidate, like in the run-ins. Oh yeah, Stephen said I'm here for the rap, so you don't care about none of that, innit? You don't care about none of that. Chris Hayes said Hollywood going broke. Hollywood's not going broke, bro. Hollywood's doing fine. Disney doing fine. All of this, like, I see some proper lie today saying that the Marvels lost 400 million. I googled it, it's not true. So people just making stuff up, man. Hollywood's doing fine, especially the Disney, Netflix. They own the streaming platforms. They don't even need Hollywood no more, innit? They've caught onto the new model. Disney's the biggest streaming platform I think there is. Overtook Netflix a long time ago. Steven said, you want to talk politics? I'm game. Cool, I'll do that. Yo, I'm ill, by the way. I'm ill, but I'm just hanging in. Talk about Mel Gibson's new film studio. I don't know nothing about Mel Gibson's new film studio. I'm going to show you what I posted online, though. We're going to talk politics, yeah? 1 second, let me find this. Yeah. Let's get this up. So I put this on one sec. I put this on my Facebook because I was just like, what the hell is this, bro? Who the hell is this? Amy Gallagher. There's a comment somewhere that says, I'd rather vote for Frank Gallagher. Yeah. She put this. I was just like, you know, I'm always calling like the anti-woke people, yeah. Stephen Trevor said, I'll even do come on and chat about it. Yeah, I don't mind doing that sometimes, bro, but I don't have it set up. I don't have a system here where I can just like add someone. I wish I did, because it would actually, I would do it all the time. But I've said I've never seen someone so confused in all my life. This is who Wayne Webster will be voting for, I'm sure. She wants everyone treated equally as individuals, but wants a colourblind society. She lists women's, sex-based rights and gay rights, but says no identity politics. Standing up to woke means being against equality. We live in crazy times. So that's what I wrote, yeah. Is Gary Stevenson one of the other candidates? I'm gonna play a video in a minute that shows all the candidates. I saw a 4-minute video that shows the candidates, so I want to watch that. But I can't even read this here, yeah. It's crazy, bro. I wish I had the paper because it's too small on the screen. But she's basically saying stand up to woke. I've said it a million times. The term woke, the way they've turned that into a negative, is disgraceful. Woke is a black cultural word to mean to be anti-racist, to be awake to the system of racism. So it's like a buzzword now that the right wing and racist people use, and she's allowed to openly use it in her mayor campaign. Like what? Like I was just shocked when I saw that. I was like, what? Is this like a Twitter person running for mayor? Like what the hell's going on? You know what I'm saying? And then she says stuff in here how she wants a colourblind society. So, but wants equality. But a colourblind society and equality doesn't match, because we live in an unequal society. So we need to see colour, we need to see race, we need to see the differences in order to make it equal again. So she's like literally just all over the place, absolute waffle. And identity politics. Let's read what Nephilim said. No more identity politics, she says, after committing to protect gay rights, which was called identity politics while they were fighting for their rights. Identity politics is the dog whistle of pussies who won't just say what they mean. The level of stupid is off the charts. Okay. Stephen Treffer said he's released a book called Trading Game. 2 weeks. Best times. Okay. I'll look that up, man. I'll look that up. But anyway, this woman is a nutter, and she's actually running for mayor. I find that scary. I literally actually find it scary. I just want to get this video up about, yeah. So I just put the mayoral election onto YouTube because I wanted to just see what's up, man. The race to become the next mayor of London. Who are the candidates taking on Sadiq Khan? That's last year. Everything you need to know about the vote. Now I'm going to watch this, man.
The London mayoral election is coming up on the 2nd of May this year. 13 candidates have so far emerged in the race for City Hall. Here's your whistle-stop guide to who they are and what they're promising. First up is Labour Mayor Sadiq Khan. He's seeking a 3rd term at City Hall, which would make history in London politics, as we've never had a mayor in charge for longer than 8 years. He recently announced that his popular free school meal programme will continue for another year if he's re-elected, but he's staying tight-lipped on the rest of his plans, saying that Londoners will have to wait for his manifesto to be published. His main challenger is the Conservative candidate Susan Hall. She's a London Assembly member who has said that she would scrap the Outer London expansion of the ultra-low emission zone, arguing that it...
Hold up. I had to fix my camera. And today, I put my camera way further back. Yeah, I know you heard the video then for a second. Can I do sign language? No, I can't do sign language. I'll come and chat here. See if that yo, 1 2. You can hear me now, innit? When I typed that comment seemed to bring it back. I've got no idea what that was. I know I'm using a different cable. The sound is plugged into somewhere different, and for some reason I had to restart. Yeah, I can see. I can see the mic line when it's recording, so I can tell you can hear. Chris Hayes claimed the equality of opportunity is there these days, which is a very big fat lie. Very big fat lie. Chris Hayes also said, I'm learning sign language right now, funnily enough. So Chris Hayes, yeah, he gets a red flag for the first comment. Yeah. And then he gets a thumbs up, respect, enough respect for the second comment. So you see, that's balance. We can all get along. Yeah. My mum knows sign language. I think everyone should learn sign language. That's quite a great thing to do. If we all knew sign language, yeah, someone said this to me. It's like they don't teach sign language in schools because then we'd just be able to communicate with each other. If everyone in the world knew sign language, we'd all have one language. Anyway, let's pull up here a little and see what these are on about.
Scrap the outer London expansion of the ultra-low emission zone, arguing that it unfairly hits people who can't afford to pay the £12.50 daily charge. She's also promised to invest £200 million into the Met Police and to set up specialist units to tackle burglaries, robberies.
I can't remember who this is that we're talking about now.
Green Party candidate Zoe Garbett. She's a councillor in Dorset.
Oh, they must hate her here.
She wants to make public transport more affordable and to deprioritise the policing of cannabis. The Greens have come third in the last 3 mayoral elections.
Support that.
And achieved almost 8% of the vote in the 2021 contest. Digital marketer Rob Blackie is the Liberal Democrat candidate. He thinks the police are wasting time on low-level drug offences like laughing gas and should instead be freed up to investigate rapes and serious sexual offences properly.
Well, I agree with
the
that.
Dems came fourth in the last election and actually lost their £10,000 deposit as they didn't quite manage 5% of the vote.
Whoa.
Howard Cox is the candidate for Reform UK, formerly...
We're going to pull out the red flags for the red flag lot, yeah? Chris Hayes said, I teach fitness classes and I have a deaf lady at most of them now, so now I can communicate better. Excellent, man. Excellent. Full support on that one, mate. Love that.
The Brexit Party. He's the founder of the Fair Fuel UK campaign, and he's pledged to scrap the entire ULEZ, not just the Outer London expansion.
Well, we do want that.
With several other pro-motorist policies. Now, there are then 8 further candidates running either as independents or from significantly smaller...
And that's what's crazy. So they're saying these are the major parties. So Reform is a major party. This is where the country has gone. And this Chris is trying to tell us we have equality. We have equality. We've got extreme racists allowed to run in a party. Yeah? And literally out there, they've got the money to do it. So if them having the money to do it, when like us on the left, there's nobody on the left who's got the money to do it, so we don't have any equality. No, we don't. Where's the left wing? Where's the left wing candidate? Anyone point out the left wing candidate, people? And I don't even count the Green Party as that. Because the thing with the Green Party is they're limited issues that they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? My boss putting me on a course soon. I learnt a bit on my own so far. Stephen said that's dedication to Chris. Yeah, man. It's going to be tough when you move on to Tai Chi. You lot are a joke. Alright, cool.
Cheyenne Batra is a property and finance broker from West London running as an independent. He promises to abolish the ULEZ, but also the congestion zone and 20-mile-per-hour speed limits. Count Binface,
like
self-professed intergalactic space...
What? What did it say? Count Binface? This was not in the brochure. This guy was not in the brochure I got through the door.
Count Binface, the self-professed intergalactic space warrior, is
I'm
also
voting for him.
this year, having previously stood in the last mayoral election.
I didn't vote. I didn't watch last time.
Promised to rename London Bridge after Phoebe Waller, and for no shop to be allowed to sell croissants for more than £1.
I thought he was about to say not allowed to sell croissants. He was going to lose my vote, but all under £1. Yeah, I'm in. He's got my vote.
Then there's Natalie Campbell. She's an independent who was originally longlisted to be the Tory candidate. As co-CEO of
Oh,
bottled water
well,
company
she can get out of
Layoral
here.
and Chancellor of the University of Westminster.
So that's another right-wing one that I wasn't aware of. I told you there's at least 3, and that's not even including the Conservatives.
She's promised to take a CEO's approach, as she puts it, to deliver recovery and growth. The former Labour MP George Galloway is standing for the Workers' Party.
I didn't know he was there. Obviously, I like George Galloway in a lot of ways, but a couple of people have told me like things about him where he's been a bit of a wrong on a few things. So I'd have to look into that a bit. But he's going for the work. He's running as part of the Workers' Party of Britain, which I don't really know much about. I'd have to give it a bit of consideration before. But I'm very likely not voting. I quit voting after Corbyn. I only started voting because of Corbyn. But, you know, I don't know. I'll look into this.
Party of Britain, having previously stood in 2016 for the Respect Party. His current party calls for decent, cheap, secure housing for all and an end to imperialist wars. Next is Amy Gallagher,
Yep.
the Social Democratic Party candidate, who says she wants to...
Here she is. But Chris Hayes said, honestly, her face lit up when I said, hello, good evening, nice to see you one day. Amazing, man. But he said, back to Mayors. I thought you were saying, and I was reading that wrong, like who you're backing. I was thinking, who's Mayors? Mayors. Oh, they're all Mayors. Yeah. Chris Hayes. So I mean, obviously nobody has to say who they're backing, but I'd be interested who's pulling your ear. Do not support Galloway. Talk dog whistling. He's the king of it. I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously I don't have faith in him like I do with Corbyn, because I know Corbyn's record speaks for itself. You know what I'm saying? I don't know George Galloway's full record, but he's on the right side of things. No pun intended, because he's supposedly on the left. You know what I'm saying? But he's the only person here that I would say is on the correct side of the political spectrum to help people. There's not really any, there isn't really any options in mainstream politics that are anymore. So him just being there is interesting.
to push back on woke ideology. She also pledges to
this is the nutter.
push back on woke ideology. She also pledges to depoliticize the police and make transport free for under 25s.
Wait, depoliticize the police? Like, what does she even mean? Do you know what I'm saying? What do you mean depoliticize the police? Like, stop the police from having... Basically, that what it sounds like, looking at everyone else saying, that sounds like she's saying, stop the police being held accountable for racism. Because all these conversations around identity politics are happening to the police, but they're not doing anything about them. So she wants to stop us even addressing it by the look of things. Corbyn will be the greatest PM who never got into power. Of course, Chris Hayes said he knows nothing about this mayor thing. Me neither, man. People expect me to, because I was backing Corbyn so much and I really got involved in politics at that time. But I have this, literally, someone mentioned it to me. I went to the Foreign Beggars show the other day, for 20 years of Foreign Beggars. Big up Pavan. Big up Foreign Beggars. Big up Skinny Man. Big up Ed Skrine. Big up Illa Man. I'm just trying to think of everyone I saw down there and who people was on the stage and not. But yeah, that was a sick night. And but someone came up to me there. She's saying to me, I need to pay attention to this. And I think she may even work in the mayor's office. But she was like, you know, are you going to do anything about this? And I thought, well, I should, because I was doing all that political stuff before. But I'm watching this blind. Like, I had that person come and say that to me, and then I went and then a brochure came through my door, and this other Amy, this Amy is a wrong one over here, just shocked me when I read that. I was like, well, what the hell? Stand up to woke. I'm sitting here. That's like the YouTubers that beef, the ones that are called Disney woke and X-Men woke and that. That's literally my whole thing on YouTube is like Stephen called it like hyperbole sometimes, which I'm cool with. Like, it's like the hyperbole of pro woke and anti woke, and she's using that for her mayor campaign now. What the hell, man? But yeah, I say all this just to say I'm watching this blind, innit? I got no idea what's going on. But what my friend did say to me is to make sure to tell people who do want to vote, yeah. Tara Slim will probably give me a red flag for this, even for considering or helping anyone to vote. But she said they have introduced this thing where you have to take ID to vote, yeah, which they're seeing as like an attack on the working class, an attack on a lot of people who don't tend to vote conservatively, who may have less forms of ID available and around them. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you go with no ID, you won't be able to vote. So take your ID. That's what she said. Stephen said he's like a sensible granddad, kind, thoughtful, peace-loving, well-educated, passionate about fairness. It's criminal how he was smeared. Yeah, 100%, man. Like, smeared. I think they proved it was the most lied about politician in mainstream media in history, at least in the UK. Chris Hayes says he does believe equality. I do believe opportunities are pretty equal these days, but you can't control the unequal outcomes. But it's like I said, Chris. How is that true? Look at you're saying that, but then you're saying you don't know anything about this mayoral election, which I don't either. But we're watching it now, so this is what we've got as far as opportunity of impacting our lives in London, right? So we don't even have the opportunity to vote for someone who has our ideals. So there is no, if we look at the political, and I hate the terms left and right, but it's just descriptions of the political spectrum, right? If we look at the political spectrum, left, right, and that also applies to rich, poor, because most rich people vote conservative, most poor people will look for a left-wing alternative, yeah? That's society. This is society. I'm taking race and gender and all that out of it. That once that goes into it, it's all more clear. But I'm just going to give you the broadest thing so that me and you can just relate to it without having to bring in any other types of identity politics, right? If we just go rich and poor, do rich and poor have the same? Do rich and poor have the same opportunities? Of course they don't. Rich and poor don't have the same opportunities, and we don't have the same opportunities for people to represent us. We don't have the same access to the same careers. We don't have the same. No, we don't have the same. Rich and poor people don't have the access to the same jobs because we don't have access to the same education. There is no equality in society. Like equality, our society is ridiculously unequal. It's unequal on every single level, every level. Yeah, the people who have access to the best jobs and the best income and the best lives are the people who were born into it. Yeah, and if you want to start talking about race and gender, yeah, those are generally white families in the UK. These are people who are born into it, who are born into going to certain schools. Yeah, that all of the MPs, like I think it's like 80% of prime ministers and MPs all went to Eton. If you go to the same school, you have a different. If you go to that school, you have different opportunities to everybody else. So that's just a fact. We do not have the same opportunities as the people who went to Eton. It's just a fact that they don't, right? And if more white people went there than went to other schools, then there's a disadvantage of race just outlined there. It's a factual one. Do you know what I'm saying? Outline Sound said, how can you say there is opportunity equality with massive class, education and financial divide? That's what I'm saying. And that's why if I keep it to the class divide and we keep it to the financial divide, it's easier for people to see. Because people get triggered. A lot of white people get triggered when we go with this racial inequality because it doesn't apply to them. And then it makes them feel like they're the privileged one and makes them start feeling fragile. But if we just keep it financial, you can see the factual inequality that exists. And then we can start to look at, okay, within those families, the men are like ones pushed to advance more than the women. So we also have gender inequality within that. Do you know what I'm saying? Stephen said, Chris, think about this. People are quick to blame people's choices, but the thing that people miss is that for certain sectors of the population have better choices. Yeah. And the rest of us, most of us, just don't have those choices. We don't have the same choices at all. Look at journalism or parliament. It's a revolving door of nepotism. Big facts. I've enjoyed this talk. I'm doing this reaction to these mayoral election. I don't even know how to pronounce this stuff. The mayor election of London, but nothing of it has interested me. So I'm not voting for any of them. I actually don't care. But take your ID if you want to vote. Yeah. Let's get through this video.
Woke ideology.
Oh my god, I still have to pull up. She is my number one enemy in it though. Her. I want to actually just see some videos of her talking because I think I might find it hilarious.
Back on woke ideology. She also pledges to depoliticize the police and make transport free for under 25s. Independent candidate
I'm down with that,
Daniel
wait.
Gulati wants to reopen closed police stations in areas with high crime and to tackle inequality in London. He's an investment banker who believes the capital has lost its mojo, and he aims to bring back the smiles on Londoners' faces. There's also Rayhan Hack. He's an independent who plans to introduce car-free Sundays in central London once a month, make the capital AI ready, and make London a 4-day-week city by 2030. Finally,
Down with
there's
that.
Andreas Mishley, a gym owner from Haringey who says he wants to make London strong. He proposes free gym memberships for Londoners and to train police officers up to blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
No, thank you. No, I was down. Yo, I was down with the gym membership. Train the public up to blue belt. Train the public up to black belt so that we can defend ourselves from the police. Don't train up no police. What's wrong with all these people wanting more police action? Once we deal with the inequality in the police system, yeah, because Chris, you can't be equal in the police system either. Yeah, there's no equality in the police system. It's a white male dominated system where white men advance. They don't like black police officers, and higher ranking black police officers do not advantage in the same way. No non-white police advantage in the same way, and there's a system of racism throughout the entire organization. Until we clean that up and fix that and get all the bad apples out of there, which is most of them, then we can't be training up the police to be more violent. That's insane. We can't be looking at them as a solution for anything, and we should be able to. We need to be able to, and we need to be able to trust them and feel protected by them, but we can't.
Until the 27th of March. That means that the pool of candidates is likely to grow even larger, perhaps even exceeding the 20 who ran last time.
Oh, you can keep... well, this was before then. It's before the 27th of March, obviously. But what was her name again? What was her name, man? I want to see the name. Is it going to be written in a comment somewhere? Oh, man. Let me just go back to my... Do you know what? I killed a load of stuff when I went... I've killed my buttons. Never mind. I've got a little thing that switches the screens, but I've got another way of doing it. I'm not touching that in case the mic goes now. Right. What was her name? Amy something. Oh yeah, Amy Gallagher, right? Don't know how to spell Gallagher. Alright, there we go. Let me put this back on the screen. Oh, that's so annoying. The button's not there anymore. Alright. I've got to find a short video of her. Why I'm standing to become Mayor of London. SDP candidate Amy Gallagher. And the weird thing is she's standing as the Social Democrat Party, which I don't really know anything about, but that's what Corbyn calls himself, a Social Democrat. So you lot are obviously having a laugh with calling yourself that. And Amy Gallagher discusses King Charles and the NHS with Mike who? We've got a few comments. I've got to come to them. Amy Gallagher discusses the migrant crisis. Oh, that's the longest video, but it's the one I'm most interested in. Defund the mayor. Amy Gallagher for Mayor of London, SDP primary. That's a 2-minute video. That looks like an actual, not virtue signalling. Oh my god, 1 second. I got a message I got to look at. Let me just message this person back, man. Cool. So, for safer spaces, not virtue signalling. Let's just look this one. Defund the mayor. It's just taking it off of defund the police, obviously, original.
When you hear Mayor of London, you may think cleaner and safer streets, trains that run on time, and more industry in our town. But the reality of having a Mayor of London is more politicians standing between you and the power to take control of your life and your community. More bureaucrats, more lobbyists, more of your money. A budget of £80 billion and counting. This year, Sadiq Khan wasted £220,000 on an ad campaign tell people to say the word mate to combat sexism. He wasted $1 million on customer satisfaction surveys for the police when you aren't even their customer. He wasted $13 million on a failed ban on junk food advertisements on the tube. These may be silly examples, but the price tags are serious. More importantly, as of September 2023, TfL says that ULEZ has cost us $160 million so far.
I hate it when they do this, when they just focus their whole thing on, oh, this is what he done wrong. This is what he done. We already know what he done wrong. Yeah, we're not stupid. Tell us what you want to do. Tell us who you are. What kind of person are you? What can we trust you? The answer is always no.
My name is Amy Gallagher, and I've lived and worked in London all my life. My role as a community nurse has taken me across London and into the homes and lives of many Londoners.
Yeah, she was a nurse and she worked for the NHS, and now she calls out the NHS and attacks them and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't think we can really use her role as any kind of character.
I have seen the effects of poverty and lack of opportunity on the mental and physical health of people that Sadiq Khan claims to represent. I also know what it is like to take on the establishment. As a whistleblower at the Tavistock, I saw the impact of woke ideology on healthcare, the NHS and our institutions.
Listen, big up the Tavistock, innit? Don't get me wrong, these places are wildly underfunded. Tavistock is a mental health service that's funded by the NHS. I think it's the main adult mental health service in London. I'm not 100%. But they're doing what they can, innit? Under very, very limited resources. It's very hard to get help from them. Yeah, I've never done it myself, but I know people who have. So she's coming at them. So she used to work there, I'm imagining. So she was the whistleblower for calling out woke ideologies. You know what I'm saying? So calling out them having, I don't know, I can't specify in it, but something to do with equality. How calling out them focusing on any type form of equality in what they're doing. Madness.
That action was needed, and I had the courage of my convictions to launch a legal and political campaign to stand up.
She's suing them.
Now I want to stand up to the political elite. I've developed a public profile as a campaigner for justice, standing up for principles and motives
for injustice
in line with SDP values. I have experience of campaigning and doing media work. But with this campaign, I can build on that foundation and be a trustworthy candidate for the SDP that Londoners can believe will defund the mayor and refund the people. Vote SDP, vote Amy, vote to defund the mayor.
What a scumbag. Imagine using a hashtag that comes from defund the police, which she's against, and then using that hashtag for herself. Weirdo. I wanna look up what her case with the NHS is. I'm sure she sued the NHS or something, right? Let's just see that up. Mental health nurse sues Tavistock and Portman for religious and racial discrimination. Let's find the shortest video we can. NHS has a culture of silence around woke ideology. Let's see.
I'm delighted now to be joined by the woman mentioned in my big opinion monologue, NHS nurse and psychotherapist Amy Gallagher. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you on the programme. To what extent has this woke culture infiltrated the NHS in your view?
Oh, a considerable amount. With regards to the report that you were mentioning, it found that there's 10,000 so-called equality diversity roles in the public sector, and that this costs the taxpayer £500 million, which the report laid this out quite nicely, could go on around 12 city roles. That there's 10,000 so-called equality diversity roles in the public sector, and that this costs the taxpayer £500 million, which
let's let look the camera's going again, and if I have to switch it I might turn the mic off. She's having an issue with having diversity roles. We need diversity roles, yeah, and throw all these numbers about all you want, but show what percentage they are of actually the rest of the people being hired, yeah. all the white people for a start. Yeah, this is big red flags, big red flags for generically calling out diversity roles. That's extremely right wing.
Which could, the report laid this out quite nicely, could go on around 12,000, paying the salaries of 12,500 nurses. So in the first instance, all this equality and diversity and inclusion is actually, you know, stopping the NHS from increasing its workforce because it costs so much. And then on top of that, it doesn't even do what it says on the tin. It says it's about equality, diversity and inclusion, but actually some of the ideas that it pushes are extremely...
I'm going to have to reset the camera. We have to risk it, guys. We're going to have to risk it. One, two. We're still there. Let me get to a couple of these comments, though, actually. Because I've missed quite a few. We're going back to the equality conversations we were having. Chris Hayes said, yeah, I get that about politicians. That's all about family, bloodlines, etc. Groomed for it. For example, when I was a kid, 2 people out of a class would go to uni. Now it's the opposite. I don't know if it's the vast opposite, to be honest, now, though. It's not completely. A lot more do go, and they're all getting themselves into ridiculous debt in order to do it, right? Which creates more inequality. So now you're literally you're in the half that are in debt, while the other half are living off of you. And then Stephen Trafford said, but it's not just politicians. Nearly every company, bank are run by CEOs that come from the same small pool of elite. The system is built on exploitation and only works with underclass. Yeah, exactly. It only works if we exist here to fund it and keep it running. So it only works based on inequality. Our entire society is based on inequality. Capitalism, yeah? We live in a system of capitalism. Capitalism as a structure it is a structure of inequality, and it only works with inequality. If you want to know more, check out Professor Mark Blythe. He doesn't just tell you what's going on, but why and how it's come about. So he's claiming each diversity. So she's now Stevens. This was more recent comments about this. So she's claiming each diversity role in London is earning roughly 50k a year. I smell BS. I'm in the public sector. That type of role is around 30 to 37k depending on geography. Yeah, whatever it is. At the end of the day, it's like, this could pay for this many nurses. Cool. Well, the role is supposed to be getting more nurses that we need into place, right? And that kind of thing. Those roles are there to get the right nurses into place, to make sure people have the right representation and stuff around them. So you're throwing big numbers around, like 50k here. It sounds crazy to her audience, who are people without money. She's trying to get to vote for her. Those numbers sound crazy, but it's actually not crazy when you're dealing with a big corporation. That's why I said, tell me how much money is spent on nurses. Tell me what percentage of that is compared to this. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, because it's not that crazy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even talk about my work and all of that separate from this, but I have a company separate with a number of employees that work for us. Do you know what I'm saying? I pay people that much. That's their job. It's a salary. You know what I'm saying? That don't make it out to be like she's trying to make it compare to like it should be a nurse. This person shouldn't exist. So basically, this diversity person shouldn't exist so that this white person can get everything. And Gleam said, serious though. Should we do another clap at 8 p.m? That would be a massive recruitment drive for them. Clap for the NHS. No, we shouldn't do that either. Let's carry on what the hell she's talking about.
Be discriminatory and nefarious. And certainly in my case, with my lawsuit, they're pushing ideas of critical race theory.
Anyone who shouts critical race theory as a negative gets a red flag. This girl is running her whole campaign on hashtags, right-wing hashtags, yeah? This is another thing, another term, identity politics, critical race theory. These are all terms they push on the left as if the left are pushing them, but they're just summaries, the words that summarize things that they think the left are doing and create and that kind of enveloping it as a negative. But it's not a negative, yeah? Critical race theory is like she means us talking about racism and addressing racism in society and addressing racism in the NHS. She doesn't want us doing that. She wants to work for the Tavistock, a place dealing with people's mental health, and not have racism addressed in that place. Scumbag. Stephen said Labour cost the NHS it's 66.1 bill. Labour cost of the NHS. Okay, I thought you were talking about Labour for a minute there. Labour cost of the NHS is 66.1 billion 2023. So yeah, like look at when she's talking about her little 50 grand, like it's not, you know what I'm saying? Like the big money is there. And what we really need to be looking at, again, every single time they do this, oh my God. So yeah, I've just clocked it. They do this every time. Yeah. It's same if I put on a video about her and immigration, they'll be putting out numbers of how much immigration costs us to make us blame the migrants. Yeah, and to blame immigration for why we ain't got money. Then at the same time, what they're doing here is making us blame the diversity role. Yeah, making us blame the person with the diversity role, who essentially is going to be a black person, an Asian person. Yeah, a lot of the time, women, people who are in these roles who need to understand the diversity they're trying to create. They're trying to make us blame that person for money that we think we should have, yeah? But how much of that 66 billion do you think goes to the bosses? How much of it goes to, you know what I'm saying? That the people taking the money are the ones who went to Eton. They're the elite people that Stephen's talking about here. They're the higher up people in these companies. How much do they pay themselves? Yeah? Because it's not just 50 grand. It's not just 50 grand. And there's more of them than there is that. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a lot more money going in rich people's pockets in the NHS and in all of these things than anything is going to a diversity role. Like, get the hell out of it. Chris Hay said Nova still claps with N95 on, I believe. I don't even know what N95 is, but no, I don't clap for the NHS, man. Stephen Trafford said, so less than 1% of the overall Labour budget is diversity roles. And actually, he just said that's the Labour budget, yeah? So maybe that's not even the budget that goes to the higher ups and all of that. But I'm sure they're still pocketing some of it along the way. Do you know what I'm saying? Gleam said the CEO of HS2 was the highest paid cabinet office minister on $642,000 a year. What's HS2? This is showing how ignorant I am in all of this. I don't even know what HS2 is, but I'm imagining that's connected, right? But it's a cabinet office minister. Yeah, so these people are paying themselves, yeah, coming up to like $750,000, and you're making us attack. You want to make us attack the diversity role. You're having a laugh. She is catering straight to racists. That's all she's doing, catering to racists because she is one. There, I said it. I called her a racist. Red flag for me. They always go, oh my God, you call everyone racist. Yeah, she is one. Stephen said, dude, 2008, the reasons why we're effed was because of single mothers, benefit scroungers or tax cheats, justified austerity. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You said it all there for me, man. I'm saying that's what it was before. Benefit scroungers. Always blame the poor, blame women. You know what I'm saying? Blame immigration. Gleam said a high speed train project which failed. Okay, that's what HS2 was. Yeah, I'm saying these people are just make up their roles and put all this money in their pockets, and you want us to be worried about a diversity role. We haven't even got we've got 1 minute into this video. I want to see the
Which
rest.
are not about equality. It's actually treating people differently. So it's completely a waste of money, in my opinion.
1 second. So I just pressed something to turn the volume down. She's just a generic racist off of YouTube. It's not about equality. It's treating people differently. Yes, treating people based on inequality that they face. That's not treating people differently. That's about equality. She's like a generic. This is like King of Sting running for mayor. Yeah, if King of Sting was a woman, like how stupid can you be? But she knows that all those stupid people are out there that think like this, so she can cater to them. Absolute madness.
So it's completely a waste of money, in my opinion, and actually does quite a considerable amount of harm, I would say.
What is your situation now? Because I understand that you were forced to do these workshops whilst studying. So what is your relationship with the NHS right now?
Yeah, so I'm still working as a nurse. There was attempts to have me struck off as a nurse because I disagreed with white privilege and I disagreed with the idea that all white people are racist.
Lie. Let's just bluntly put it there. She's a liar. You're running for mayor, but you're a liar. Yeah? She summarised two things there. She named them as two different things, but they're the same thing. She disagreed with white privilege. Yeah, nobody was firing you for being disagreed with white privilege for a start. That's a lie. Yeah, and then she went, I disagreed that all white people are racist. Yeah, nobody actually says all white people are racist, and like definitely not in a professional setting like that. The people who are explaining, and I have done it. Don't get me wrong. I will say all white people are racist. I shouldn't say that on YouTube. Gosh, they blocked my video. But when I say that, and if I say that, I'm saying it to explain what white privilege is, that all white people benefit from racism. It's much more nuanced than that comment, yeah? So she's then tried to just break it down to something that will trigger everybody and make all these like actual racist white people get behind her, yeah? She's literally saying all the buzzwords you could bloody imagine. Stephen Trafford said 134 bill for track and trace, yeah, which was absolutely pointless and useless, and they knew it.
But I've been suspended from my training course, training to be a psychotherapist, and that's still, I don't know what's the outcome of that.
No, 100, like, yeah. Yo, if you are standing there saying you don't understand the concepts of white privilege, that all this stuff she's saying about treating people based on racism is treating them differently, all that kind of generic, dumb racist mentality, you should not be allowed to be a psychotherapist. You should not. You should have your... Yeah, that's real... Forget cancel culture. That's real life. You have to be trained to do a job properly. I 100% believe you shouldn't be allowed to be a police if that's the case. Because then if we didn't let people who actually have those ideals be police, then we wouldn't have the whole racist police structure. You shouldn't be allowed to be a police. You shouldn't be allowed to be an MP. You shouldn't be allowed to be a teacher. You shouldn't be allowed to be a nurse. Definitely shouldn't be allowed to be a psychotherapist. No way. None of the people who think that should be allowed to be these things. But guess what? We live in a society which is the opposite, where all of, like, the majority of people doing all those things think like that. So we're in a complete mess.
That's going to be, I don't know whether I'll be able to qualify as a psychotherapist.
But she's allowed to run for mayor. You're not even allowed to be a psychotherapist because actually you will do damage to people. If you're dealing with people, someone's coming to you for help, for mental health support, and they are dealing with systems of racism that is literally causing them mental damage, and you sit there and you're actually part of the problem that causes it. Of course you shouldn't be allowed to have that job, but you're allowed to run for mayor, which is going to impact all of us. Absolute joke. That's what I'm saying. There is no... How can a person be allowed to run for mayor on an anti-woke like hashtag campaign? It's a joke.
There's still negotiations going on, and obviously I've got my legal team are involved, so I don't know whether I'm going to be allowed to become a psychotherapist, but essentially they've said I'm not appropriate because I don't have the right views, and my views are not, I just don't think that we should be scapegoating whole groups of people based on their religion or their race. These are views that most people hold.
But they don't consider that they're scapegoating them, do they? You are adding the scapegoat part to their life experience. You're calling their life experience scapegoating, which is disgusting. This woman's a cretin, man.
Critical race theory is just that. It's a theory. It's not fact. But it seems that in certain quarters of the NHS, it's now being sold as fact. And we're seeing a similar situation with gender ideology, where top medics will have you believe that a biological man can become a biological woman. Again, factually impossible, scientifically impossible, but that's what's being taught in the NHS.
I don't think that is actually even what's being taught. I think they used the word biology wrong there, because I think gender and biology are two different things, and they're mixing them together in order to uphold their kind of fascism and bigotry. They throw in the biology part when actually what's being taught is that gender is a separate thing, and that gender is a spectrum or whatever. These guys have to kind of make up the thing to have it their way. Gosh, what do you expect from GB News?
Yes, yeah, definitely. I think within the area of both race and gender, which comes under the heading of equality and diversity and inclusion, there are ideas that are being pushed that are not evidence-based and actually reject evidence. They don't accept evidence, and actually they see evidence as...
Like, for example, and I can look this up, I don't know the statistics over the top of my head, but as a black woman, you are way more likely to die during child labour. Yeah, that's a fact. That is evidence-based. It's a fact. Yeah, any of you can go look it up, tell me the numbers. As a black woman, you are much more likely to die during child labour. Why is that? Because nurses, like her, are racist and don't treat them with the same care. So you're more likely to have a complication because the person hasn't cared to you properly, literally because of how we're trained, yeah? Because of inequality, because of white supremacy, because of white privilege, yeah? Because of how these people, how their brains work and how she's been actually programmed her entire life. But she wants to sit here and like pretend, oh yeah, it's not based on fact. Like, yes, it's based on fact. And that's what it's to do with. And that's why we need diversity. But she doesn't care about that. She wants to let them women die. Sick woman.
Part of the white supremacy system of oppression or whatever. And actually it's just pushing an ideology.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's a fact. Like, it's pushing a fact to say these women are dying in this situation much more than these. So we have to do something about that. It's not an ideology. It's based in fact. So she's just lying. She's literally lying, and she just doesn't want us to address it.
Christianity is racist because it's European. That's an interesting one.
Yeah. Yeah, well, obviously it's actually not a European religion, but some of these people really don't know what they're talking about. But yeah, this is whole part of generally what's called critical social justice, which is an attack on Western values and particular groups.
Plenty of your fellow students would reject the nonsense to which you were subjected, but they've not had your courage to speak up. That's the point, isn't it? You're not a lone voice. You're the one that's put your head above the parapet.
Yeah, that's right. And since I've been in the media and since I've, been raising money for my crowdfund, I've had so many people contact me, so many nurses and psychologists and psychotherapists saying essentially, I completely agree with you. I'm so...
Do you know how much, when you speak to black women about therapy, how much they will tell you that they can't really go to therapy because therapists don't understand their experience. I've heard it so many times, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm in those kind of communities having these conversations, and like in my kind of social circles, even online and all that, I've seen that written so many times, yeah? That's why, because this is who's there. And that's why she shouldn't be a psychotherapist. And that's why I've had so many psychotherapists, all these people come out and tell me this. Yeah, because they're all shit at their job. They're all terrible. We need to get rid of them and get better. Yeah, we really, really need the diversity roles, not just the diversity roles, but those diversity roles need to be enhanced more. They need to be given more funding for them to actually be able to train and getting people to actually deliver this work properly, because they're not doing it. They are failing, and they have been failing forever. Absolutely ridiculous.
Sorry, this has happened to you. I feel like I can't speak out. I feel like I have to go along with these ideas, and I thought I was the only one. And actually, there's a lot of people saying, I think I'm the only one, but actually there's a lot of them that all think that. So there is just a culture of silence, I think, around woke ideology still within the NHS.
Around woke ideology, man. From the time you just come out with a generic hashtag about woke, you're an idiot. Absolute clown. Enough of that woman now. I'm glad I played that, because the mayor election videos weren't really showing me much. That showed me who she is. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get to. Stephen said I need to say a good night, brother. Thanks for the chat. Respect for tuning in as always, my bro. Monday we'll be back with the music show. Monday 9 PM. There's a couple more things I wanted to do, but obviously the most important thing is the Amber Heard thing. I'm gonna get to who trolled Amber. There's two other things. If I have time at the end, I'll do them, but I'm running out of time. So I've done the first 2 episodes already. Chris Hayes said goodnight as well. You guys are all gonna sign out now while I get into this long video, but it's all good. It don't matter, because I just need to do this reaction so that I can upload it as a separate video, because the people who really want to see this, they'll all tune in and watch it tomorrow. So enough respect for being here, guys. But yeah, Who Trolled Amber episode 3, Into the Dark. I've done the first 2 episodes already. I sent my Twitter crazy. I haven't used Twitter for years, but there's a lot of supporters on there. Hashtag I stand with Amber Heard. I almost feel like pulling some of it up and showing you some of the stuff that's been going on, but I'll be here all night, so maybe I'll do it next week. I'll pull up some of the crazy, like, I'm getting attacked. Like, all of this is showing, yeah. All of this is to show how Amber Heard was wrongly attacked and how bots were used to attack her and all that kind of stuff. But these guys think it's a good idea to prove that right by attacking me, attacking people sharing my videos, all that kind of stuff. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, just to give another context, this podcast is an investigation into who trolled Amber Heard. Was it bots? 1 second. Oh gosh, the cough's starting to kick in. I got these little strepsils here. I'm eating too many of them though. They'll stop working. But so yeah, who trolled Amber Heard? The last 2 episodes have been very, very eye-opening. Go and watch them if you haven't watched them already. They're on my YouTube. A few people on Twitter was accusing me, oh, you're grifting, whatever. I mean, I talk about a whole broad spectrum of these kind of political things. So it's not just Amber Heard. If I was grifting on Amber Heard, I would have done this 2 years ago. And also, I will point out, YouTube doesn't monetize these videos. Yeah, YouTube doesn't monetize anything that is seen as sensitive or shocking content, right? And it automatically finds words that you've said and then it says shocking content unavailable for monetization, right? That applies for so much of my videos. And then I play some stuff with music videos that don't get monetized either. So I only get monetized on a small percentage of my videos anyway. But the Amber Heard ones, and I haven't written nothing crazy in the title, I literally think that putting Amber Heard's name on anything won't monetize it. They actually, yeah. Remember, she was on the last episode. They said that she wasn't allowed to tweet about Aquaman 2. She was banned from posting about it on social media. So she's banned from attending all these events. She's literally cancelled. So I 100% think YouTube know, yeah, she's banned from any advertising. Like, they would not put a company who's paying them for advertising, like, they would not put those adverts on the front of an Amber Heard video because they think they might get in trouble for it. Do you know what I'm saying there? So I just know all of these videos I've done on Amber Heard, all of them says ineligible for monetization. So anyway, that's just an interesting point. But we'll get into episode 3. There's 6 episodes in full. So after this, we'll be halfway. And yeah, I'm doing them every week. So let's just get straight into it, I guess.
Tortoise.
Just a warning before we start. This series contains strong language and descriptions of violence.
Oh yeah, I think it's 100% inauthentic. I have no doubt about that.
We're back in London, and we've got Ron Schnell's dataset. Ron collected almost 1 million tweets in the run-up to the Depp Heard trial. I hope this trove of information will reveal clues about who trolled Amber. And my
just to give a context for anyone who's watching this who didn't watch the last one or isn't watching it off the back of the last one, yeah, they had a guy who was investigating all of the tweets about Amber Heard, and he downloaded all this data from Twitter. And apparently, he said something interesting that Elon Musk, since he bought Twitter, has banned, like, he's blocked that kind of way of being able to download mass data like that. So he's saying we couldn't even go there and download that now, but he'd already downloaded it early into the preparation of the trial. Now they got banned from talking about the trolls in the trial. That got removed from what they were bringing forward as evidence. So they said, no, we can't talk about it. So he stopped investigating this. The guy who had this this data file stopped investigating it early on because he just knew he couldn't do it in court, right? But he's basically given this to them. So they're not being able to investigate a whole data file of tweets about Amber Heard that happened from before the trial that hasn't properly been investigated yet.
Producer Xavier and I have finally found an expert who is willing to look into it.
My name is Johan.
Johan Chen.
I'm the founder of SafeLink Network, where we're building technologies to detect anomalies on the internet. During my PhD, I got to work at security teams with Twitter, Amazon, and Google, detecting different bad actors.
Johan is the man behind something called Information Tracer, this pretty cool website I've been using a lot on this investigation.
Information Tracer is an AI-powered tool to help people search and investigate different social media campaigns.
Johan has the credentials we need, but I also want a second opinion.
Hey, Ko Chang, how are you? Great, how are you? I'm okay, Happy New Year. I have a PhD in informatics. Right now, I'm a postdoctoral researcher.
Kai-Cheng Yang is a big name in the world of misinformation. He created a program called Botometer,
a machine learning algorithm that can find social bots on Twitter.
Do you remember that's what Ron Schnell used when he was working on the case?
I fed in hundreds of thousands of anti-Amber Heard tweets and got a lot of data.
Kai-Cheng's program is pretty well known. Elon Musk used Botometer in a lawsuit against Twitter's former owners when he was trying to back out of the deal to buy it.
It's in their court document because they were really ready to go to trial. But I have to say, the way they use the tool is not, correct.
Both Johan and Kai-Cheng are experts at detecting misinformation. If anyone's going to find bots, if anyone can tell us whether they were working at scale or even acting in coordination, it's these guys. But it's going to take them a while to properly analyze so many tweets, a couple of weeks at least. So for now, you've got Alexei and Xavier instead. We don't know how to code or run algorithms, but that's okay, because this story has never just been about data. Johan and Kai-Cheng are looking for patterns across the dataset. Their analysis will show us the overall role that bots played in the Amber case. But I'm just as interested in the specifics. I want to find individual users who are not who they say they are. So Zav and I lock ourselves in a dark room, we switch on our monitors and crank open Ron's database. And soon, one particular account stands out. An account which doesn't just tweet about Depp, but about politics.
It's not a real user, it's not a real person, that I know for sure, yes.
I'm Alexei Mostrous, and this is Who Trolled Amber, Episode 3, Into the Dark.
Alexei Mostrous, I never shout out his name, obviously he's the guy who done this, so big him up. I ain't been tagging him when I've been sharing this and all that. I don't know if he's gonna, I'm sure he'll be happy I'm doing it, but you never know. I'm gonna tag him in that thing at the end and big him up once I've done all 6 episodes.
This is what happens. I'm looking through the Ron Schnell data to find accounts which have tweeted a lot about Johnny Depp. And one of these stands out as particularly interesting. This account isn't behaving like a typical bot account. It's not posting ads for cryptocurrencies or retweeting other people's hashtags. Instead, it posts hundreds of tweets in Spanish about Chilean politics. Until November 2020, when it suddenly switches topics and starts tweeting about Johnny Depp.
Madness.
The account's name is Felipe Irarrázaval. He says he's a graduate of the University of Chile and he has a master's degree in law. Except, a couple of years after the account is created, Felipe changes his profile to say he studied commercial engineering at a completely different college. That's red flag number 1. Felipe is pretty right-wing. You can see from his tweets that he's obsessed with law and order in Chile. And of course, that's not unusual in itself, but I can't find any trace of the real Felipe outside of Twitter. There are a couple of people with the same name living in Santiago who have very similar profiles, but when I contact them, they say they have nothing to do with the account. If the Twitter Felipe is a real person, then off the platform, he's a ghost. That's red flag number 2.
I've been studying for a while now all the dark side of digital technologies regarding politics. So that's the misinformation, that's coordinated and authentic activity such as bot networks and stuff like that. Also,
I call Professor Marcelo Santos. He's an expert in both misinformation and in Chilean politics. I want to see what he thinks of Felipe.
Can you just give me your impressions of this account?
Okay, first of all, a couple of things. We were talking about when...
A few years back, Marcelo was the head of this big study into political disinformation in Chile. He uncovered thousands of bots and trolls trying to manipulate public opinion before big votes.
There were set...
Well, that was obviously coming, but I didn't know this guy was going to specifically have been involved in that, in investigating that in Chile. But obviously, you look at his account, he's posting about Chile, about politics over there, suddenly starts posting about debt. Someone has been controlling that account to push an agenda message. Same like they did over here with Cambridge Analytica. I wonder if that will get mentioned in all of this, to be honest. And if it doesn't, I never actually watched that documentary on it. I read little bits and pieces, but I should probably look deeper into that after this on a separate one.
Of bots or bot-like users, though I call the amplifiers, they were just, routing for the conservative users, and some other set of bots that were the polarizing bots that were routing here and, talking shit.
Most of these suspect accounts were created just after a series of protests erupted in the country.
June 2019, we had this, what we call the social uprising or social outburst, where people went to the streets, first triggered by raising the subway fare.
The protests start with students but end up encompassing every part of society. For weeks, the streets are alive with rioting and tension.
I believe that 5 subway stations were destroyed. I mean, they were burnt.
Whoa.
So we had curfew, we had military on the streets. There were clashes with the police every day. Every Friday, some of us went to this square, and I'm talking that from range from 200,000 to 1 million people with very violent repression by the police. We didn't go to the protests and stuff because it was really violent.
Misinformation ramps up when Chile stages a referendum and then a general election. Most of the bot accounts that Marcelo identifies support right-wing candidates, and specifically one man called Jose Antonio Cast.
This is the maddest thing. Look, this I'm so glad to be seeing this and reacting to this, because all of my content here, I get called a lefty, get called woke. Like, people who only follow me for the Amber Heard stuff might not have seen the other stuff, but I've been doing stuff on here against right-wing YouTube. That's kind of how I started doing content again in recent months. And I've been on Facebook doing that for years, whatever. Like, the way the right-wing manipulate media and control everything in the world, to be honest, is what we're dealing with and addressing in all of these things. And the right-wing people, like commenters, bots as well, I call them bots and human bots, because even the ones that are human have reacted because of the bots, and now they're copying them, and they're like robots anyway, because they just copy and write what they're told to say. They're always going on about how the liberal, the liberal politics and woke politics is taking over the world. When the real fact is, and we're seeing it here, is there's still these agendas to keep everything very right-wing and keep the right-wing in control.
Antonio Cast is the representative of the far right. Cast had this big network of bot-like activity promoting him and demoting the others.
Cast is particularly opposed to a new constitution which would make Chile a much more liberal society. His posts on this topic are retweeted by a network of suspected troll and bot accounts, along with a particular hashtag marking opposition to the constitution: rechazo.
Rechazo is reject in Spanish, apruebo is apruebo. So there was a campaign of approval against rechazo. So that hashtag rechazo, which appears in the user you were monitoring, is related to the right-wing sympathizers.
When I look at Felipe's account, he fits this pattern exactly. He posts dozens of pro-caste tweets and he liberally uses the hashtag rechazo.
¿Cómo puede ser posible tu nivel de inconsecuencia? Tú eres un intolerante. Eres cómplice de los atentados y vandalismo. Delincuente sin remordimiento. Rechazo CTM. Rechazo.
To Marcelo, all of this is very suspicious. And he notices other clues about Felipe which I'd missed, like the date that the account was created.
The D-Day for the social uprising was the 18th of October. 2 days later, this account is created. So that is quite suspect.
And the language used in the tweets themselves.
It doesn't add up from whatever perspective you see.
In Marcelo's opinion, Felipe is not who he says he is. Not a lawyer or an engineer from Santiago, but someone else entirely. Possibly someone sitting in a troll farm in Mexico or in the Philippines, being paid to secretly sway opinions online.
Yo, and that's where it gets deep. This whole thing, troll farm, bot farm we've been talking about, I hadn't even been thinking about it like there's going to be people sitting there doing it. But I've already, do you know what I'm saying? Like, people don't know this about me who just followed the Amber Heard thing. Especially if people who are not from the UK. But I was very involved in a general election over here a few years ago when Jeremy Corbyn was running. I was involved in starting a youth vote initiative called Rise Up, and we had the biggest youth vote sign up in decades. I can't tell the numbers and the stuff off the top of my head, but we did some amazing things. So I was literally online talking about that all the time. Much more than I was, before this Amber Heard stuff. Same way as I was, like, I've always been active online, like, arguing with these people. And that's the last time I really sat there and thought about that, where I would sit and I'd think these people are fake. And I actually thought these people are paid, because obviously I was basically going up against the Conservative government. And the Conservative government, I'm actually blocked on Facebook. Like, I could show you, I'm blocked by the Conservative government. Like, I can't even... if I search the Conservatives, like, it don't come up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, they blocked me for talking in their groups and all of that. And that's mad. That's the government of our country now. I'm literally blocked by the governing party of our country, and me being a citizen, I'm blocked by them. I can't see their social media. To me, that should be illegal. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But yeah, so I started realizing, right, there's just these idiot people. They're quite stupid, some of them, like, who just sit in there like troll. They don't really have much political proper to add. You know what I'm saying? And I can't believe I've never actually made the connection with this, right? Because when I was in that, my brain was so in it, and I was like realizing these are fake people. And then actually we did like events where we're going to film a video. Like, there's a video on my page with Lady Leisha, right? And I'm interviewing Lady Leisha, talking about registering to vote and stuff. She's saying she never voted before, whatever. She's like a big rapper over here, for people who don't know. And we might have posted that we was going to be here or there, you know what I'm saying? And there was people turning up on bikes, yeah? Like, pretending to be like kind of down, like, because it was at this little graffiti place. And they're just riding around going, don't vote, fuck voting, like, they're like, and I'm like, right, I was 100% sure they paid these people to turn up where we were and ride around saying that. All I'm saying, I say all of this to kind of, that's made me just think of that, to say people with a lot of money, yeah, that's why it might cost a real lot of money, and only someone really rich and powerful could actually pay for something like this to happen, because people might actually have to be sat there in a troll farm somewhere, actually typing away.
How likely?
Possibly someone sitting in a troll farm in Mexico or in the Philippines, being paid to secretly sway opinions online.
How likely, roughly, do you think it is, from everything you know about this account, that it is some sort of inauthentic account?
Oh yeah, I think it's 100% inauthentic. I have no doubt about that.
Up until this point, Felipe has never tweeted about Johnny Depp or shown any interest in celebrity stories. But on November the 6th, 2020, he stops posting about the politics of Chile and out of nowhere joins the Amber Heard hate party. He starts tweeting the same hashtags in English again and again and again.
Justicia por Johnny Depp. Justicia para Johnny Depp. Qué indignación más grande. Johnny Depp y la agresión de su esposa hacia él. Amber Heard is an abuser.
It has a very low activity for a long time, and then all of a sudden it has 55 tweets about, how Amber is super guilty. Almost all the tweets have the same structure. A couple of hashtags, basically hashtags like Johnny Depp is innocent, Amber Heard is an abuser, and then a link for a tweet.
My question is, if Felipe was sent to stoke culture wars in Chile, why would he suddenly start tweeting about a celebrity trial in the United States? Marcelo can only speculate.
I have no evidence, I have just inferences. So it could be perfectly an agency in Mexico that has a lot of accounts that was hired by the right wing to do that specific work, and then was hired by another agency to do that other specific work. That's not unusual.
Of course, that's obviously what happened.
Not only is Marcelo saying that Felipe is a fake account, one of hundreds created to stoke up tensions in Chile's politics, he's suggesting that at some point at the end of 2020, the fake Felipe was repurposed away from right-wing rabble-rousing and towards Johnny Depp.
Mad.
This story's horizons are broadening. What started as a celebrity story...
Do you know what? All the other episodes I've been stopping and talking so much. I'm a bit ill today, by the way, for people watching this who haven't seen the rest of my live earlier. But I thought I had to push on and still do this because it's important. But this actually is blowing me away more than the other episodes. I don't know how much to say on it, like, other than, wow, like, there's literally people being paid to sit there and write negative stuff about Amber Heard. And all of these and all these different people. Do you know what I'm saying? I think Tory Lanez has done the same thing. Because probably not on as big a level. He doesn't have the same amount of money, but he's got money. Do you know what I'm saying? I think he's paid some kind of campaign to push hashtags and all of that. Do you know what I'm saying? But Johnny has obviously done it on a huge level.
Story now seems to be crossing over with international politics. I suppose when it comes to online manipulation, the target doesn't really matter. Whether you want to promote a celebrity or a politician, the tools are the same. And I had one more slightly unsettling thought.
Well, I'm about to say something else, but let me let him get his thought off first.
If it hadn't have been for Ron's data, Felipe's activities would still be hidden. He deleted his account in 2021, wiping away all his tweets. Which raises the question, how many more Felipes are there out there, shaping events and then covering up their tracks?
Yeah, I just wanted to go, that's crazy. And remember, he pointed out that you can no longer download data from Twitter in the same way. Maybe you can see the accounts as they're there. I don't know how significant that is, what that actually means. But yeah, I mean, I touched on this. We were talking about the London mayor election earlier on in this show, and so yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm not well today. Yeah, we were talking about the London mayor election, and I was just like going back to the Jeremy Corbyn thing. Like, he was proven as the most lied about politician in history, yeah, in UK history at least, in the mainstream media. But the barrage of stuff online was constant. So basically, like, yeah, the barrage of stuff online that I was dealing with, like I'm saying, me being proper involved in it, we had 2 general elections. The first one, he got mad close to winning. You know what I'm saying? So They've literally changed UK politics and got a right wing, got the Conservative government in again using that tactic. I'm 100% sure of that. I was 100% sure of it back then. And it's crazy. It's really crazy when you deep it. It's just, obviously I already knew this, but it's just kind of making it sink in again.
I get off the call and I go and find Xavier to tell him about Marcella. As it turns out, he has found out a lot more.
The first thing that I found were all these accounts posting in Thai. So normally when a tweet goes viral, you expect it to have lots of retweets, lots of likes, lots of replies. What's happening with these accounts is that they're only ever posting once about Depp, and they're getting a huge number of retweets, thousands and thousands. And the crucial bit is that the accounts have basically no followers, and barely anyone is actually engaging with the tweets. No one is replying to the tweets. So if you take a look at this one, it's congratulating Johnny Depp after the US trial. The tweet has 22,000 retweets, only 11 replies, and the account has only a couple dozen followers. Here's another one, an account which has 2 followers, tweets once about Depp, gets 9,000 retweets. And then this one...
1 second, let me pull up this last bit.
6,000 tweets, 1,000 you expected to...
Tell him about Marcelo. As it turns out, he has found out a lot more.
The first thing that I found were all these accounts posting in Thai. So normally when a tweet goes viral, you expect it to have lots of retweets, lots of likes, lots of replies. What's happening with these accounts is that they're only ever posting once about Depp, and they're getting a huge number of retweets, thousands and thousands. And the crucial bit is that the accounts have basically no followers, and barely anyone is actually engaging with the tweets. No one is replying to the tweets. So if you take a look at this one, it's congratulating Johnny Depp after the US trial. The tweet has 22,000 retweets, only 11 replies, and the account has only a couple dozen followers. Here's another one, an account which has 2 followers, tweets once about Depp, gets 9,000 retweets. And then this one, 6,500 retweets, no replies whatsoever. My best guess is that these accounts are being retweeted in an automated way, but by bots
that's
that
the
are
bots. That's the
possibly
fake ones.
not sophisticated enough to actually engage with the tweets or reply to the tweets. Another thing I found was a network of accounts tweeting about Depp in Spanish. They're all liking and retweeting the exact same anti-Amber Heard posts. And the most interesting thing I spotted in those accounts was that they would post the same tweet again and again, and the only thing they would change is the string of numbers and letters that they'd added to the end of the tweet. So, to show you an example here, 8th of November 2020, this account posts hundreds of identical tweets on exactly the same day, all pro-Johnny Depp, anti-Amber Heard. And the only thing that is changing in those tweets is the string of numbers and letters at the end. I talked to a disinformation expert, and he said that he sees this kind of thing a lot. And what accounts are normally doing, he thinks, is trying to avoid spam filters. So they will slightly alter the tweets to get around the filters.
That's weird.
And he actually sent me a link to a YouTube video in Arabic, which shows how you can automate this process. So I think actually with both the Thai accounts and with the Spanish accounts, what we're seeing is automation.
That's amazing. I mean, I also found some really weird stuff. There's this one account which has tweeted 370,000 times since 2021 and has liked more than 400,000 posts. I've worked out that's a post every 2 minutes for 24 hours a day for 3 years. There's this other account that's tweeted 7,000 times in a short period, wasn't following anyone at all, but it was part of a network that I found that seems to be using fake pictures. All of these pictures could be traced back to Instagram models. This network of pro-Johnny Depp accounts had taken those pictures. There was so much weird stuff.
You know what, it's making me realise, and obviously I've kind of known this as well, but these people that are on my Twitter, like I said at the beginning, my Twitter has blown up from doing these videos. These are probably not real people. It's probably, I'm saying, some of these are probably still going on, and they're not even real people.
Now, I also wanted to look outside of Twitter because there's a lot of anti-Amber hate on different platforms. I found this video on YouTube of Amber giving an interview to Access Hollywood, and the video had 120,000 comments. And I asked a data journalist that works at Tortoise called Katie Riley to download all of those comments so we could see what was being said. She found that 60,000 of these 120,000 comments had exactly the same phrase in them. So the phrase was, "She is not a victim." And that exact phrase appeared in more than half of the 100.
And I still see that now. All the years I've been dealing with this conversation, I've been seeing that. But again, all this new stuff I've had on Twitter, I'm seeing that all the time.
120,000 comments posted under this video. In my mind, there's no way that that could have happened organically. Okay, here's some of what we found. A political troll who suddenly switches allegiances to attack Amber Heard. Spanish-speaking bot networks posting hundreds of pro-Depp tweets. Thai accounts which tweet once and go viral. And tens of thousands of identical messages left under Amber Heard videos on YouTube. To me, this all points towards a global campaign. If that's right, it either means it was coordinated by someone pretty powerful, someone with access to disinformation resources in different countries, or it means that multiple people were responsible, and that these guys somehow moulded together and merged with genuine Depp fans to create a hybrid campaign.
You know, the mad thing is, we're talking about politicians doing this. Obviously, we know Donald Trump did this as well, right? Like, Donald Trump, he did it with madness, with like Epstein flight list, putting like Democrat names on these fake lists flying around. And not to say there isn't any on real lists, don't get me confused, but his name's on those lists is my point. He would just create ones with random names and say that he's Save the Children, all these weird hashtags that he was using to try and basically his campaign for president. I don't even think it's far-fetched that those kind of people would help Johnny Depp. That actually the same people that are controlling governments might want to help him and might we live in a system of misogyny that they want to uphold and keep, yeah? That there's no doubt about, in my mind, that there are very powerful people in this world, way more powerful than Johnny Depp, that would give him a helping hand and use him as kind of their poster boy for upholding misogyny, right? Because I've said this a million times, like, domestic violence is an issue that, you know, predominantly impacts women and that is mostly carried out by men. You know, the main defense they use against that is to always make a man the face of domestic violence as a victim. You know what I'm saying? A man be the face of domestic violence victims. Make a woman be the face of committing domestic violence. That is their angle in flipping it and keeping it the way it is and upholding that system of patriarchy and that system of domestic violence. So Johnny Depp is their poster boy. And this campaign has done the most for that, for the people, like these people higher up that actually want things like that. So I'm getting into my wild conspiracy part now. Yeah, which I'm not even a wild conspiracy theorist. I don't go for all the obvious ones. But I wouldn't be surprised. I know he's got a lot of money, a lot of power, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had help from people even higher up.
But our examples are still a bit piecemeal. I feel like we're standing in front of a giant screen that's shielding us from the truth, and we're poking little holes in it, trying to see through each of them one by one. When what we need is someone to pull back the whole sheet.
My wife, she's from Myanmar. We met in the United States. A year into COVID, there was a military coup in Myanmar, and the country went into civil unrest.
Johan has seen firsthand the impact that misinformation can have in the real world.
And what happened is, before the coup, the military junta in Myanmar was spreading misinformation on Facebook, but no one really caught them because they were tweeting in Burmese language, which is not analyzed by the system that Facebook built at the time.
In 2018, military personnel in Myanmar created hundreds of fake accounts on Facebook. They posed as pop stars, models, or other celebrities. Their aim was to secretly spread hatred against the country's Rohingya minority. Since that point, Johan's dedicated his working life to fighting misinformation and manipulation online. And now he's got some answers for us?
There are some common indicators of suspicious behaviors in the entire data set.
When you get a data set like this, as a misinformation researcher, what are your first steps in terms of analyzing it? Just talk us through that process.
I want to look globally. Who is the top spreader and what tweet is the most retweeted or quoted or mentioned? From those top tweets, I start to investigate who are interacting with those tweets. As I drill down, I start to investigate different campaigns.
Johan found that the dataset contains a lot of anonymous accounts.
Which means each account, they never use real names or real profiles.
He also found a lot of suspicious amplification,
which is when a tweet receives far more engagement than it normally would have received.
Johan is talking about accounts which have almost no followers, but when they start tweeting about Johnny Depp, they suddenly get thousands of retweets, like the Thai account Xavier found. Johan identified other indicators too, like common content.
When different accounts use identical text, such as hashtags or URLs to promote a certain narrative.
A change in language.
Where those accounts were tweeting on one topic and suddenly they're talking about Johnny Depp.
And finally, spamminess.
They will respond to a user repeatedly, or they will quote a user and add many hashtags, the type of behavior that a normal user would not usually do.
In Johan's opinion, the Ron Schnell data is full of inauthentic activity.
I identified multiple campaigns. Each campaign roughly consists hundreds to thousands of accounts. I would say conservatively, there are at least many thousands of accounts that are inauthentic.
And here's the big takeaway.
Across the whole data set, I think at least 50% of tweets were generated by inauthentic accounts.
This is pretty astonishing. According to Johan, 50% or more of anti-Amber Heard tweets came from bots or trolls, either from automated accounts or from accounts pretending to be someone they're not.
That's crazy, man. And yeah, you know, I guess I'm gonna keep focusing on the trolls part, because you know we call trolls people, we think of them as the real people. You know what I'm saying? But they're people trolling with an agenda, yeah. But we think that we generally seem to think, you know, they're doing it on purpose. Of course, these guys are doing it on purpose, but they're being paid to is a whole different aspect. People being paid to troll. So you've got a whole load of bots that are literally just fake robots. You're seeing thousands of retweets. They've got no followers. And then you've got people that are set up to look like real people, but they're obviously not real people. They're jumping from one social issue to the other. And literally they're being paid. Boy.
If that's right, it means that bots and trolls played more than a minor role in Depp v. Heard.
More than a minor role, they literally forced the outcome of the trial. Let's just keep it blunt. That's why I'm doing this reaction, because he has to keep it all like above board. I don't care. Yeah, they paid for the outcome of the trial. Just the same way the Conservative government in the UK paid to get Jeremy Corbyn out of here. Yeah, this is what the right-wing elite do.
Johan's analysis suggests they were driving the debate. I should pause here to say something about dates because I think it's significant. The tweets in Ron's database date from April 2020 to January 2021. That's about 15 months before the US trial begins in Virginia. And I'm thinking, if half of all these tweets are inauthentic, that means that bots got involved well before the jury took their seats in that Virginia courtroom.
But already, I'm pretty sure on the first episode he had stressed that they'd found bots in 2016 from way back when she first filed for a divorce and filed for a restraining order, and then we had that whole video come out from that guy that they keep mocking me for not knowing who he was. Not video, that article. So the campaign started way back then, and he's saying this is only taken from 2020 to 2021. That's 4 years later. So if it was 50% then, and it's already been going on for 4 years, you know, in 2016 it's probably 100%. Yeah, and then it's built, and then eventually they've got 50% of real people in interacting who've been kind of roped in by now.
It seems like someone laid the groundwork in advance of the US trial, so that by the time it began and people really started paying attention, Amber had already lost the case in the court of public opinion.
100%.
Joe?
And don't get me wrong, like I know I'm saying I think it went way back to that. Obviously, when the case was coming up, yeah, they would have spent that time really like, all right, it's time to really go hard now.
And found something else too. Amber had already lost the case in the court of public opinion. Johan found something else too. The inauthentic accounts he identified, they don't just sit in their silos and encourage each other. They get real fans involved too.
Oh,
I think the inauthentic accounts will start the campaign first.
The bots will tweet a hashtag so much that it's picked up by Twitter's algorithms.
And then it will show on the what's.
I mean, obviously we know that this is what's happened, but I just thought when he said that, I thought, you know, they might actually even sit there, the fake person, sit there, you know, start tweeting at people. Other people's tweeting that kind of stuff. They get involved in the community, you know what I'm saying? But obviously we know, yeah, getting the hashtag so big, the people are going to pick up on it anyway.
It's trending panel.
Then genuine accounts will see the hashtag trending.
And then they will start to engage with those tweets.
But of course, Johan isn't the only person who's been looking at the dataset. Kai Cheng has too, the founder of Botometer, and his conclusions appear on the surface to be a little different.
I found a lot of bots, right? By a lot, I just mean the numbers, right? But compared to the total number of accounts involved in this discussion, maybe it's a small portion, but there are still a lot.
To remind you, this is Johan's take.
At least 50% of tweets were generated by inauthentic accounts.
Contradictory, right? But actually, I think it makes sense. What seems to have happened is that a lot of real accounts, run by real people, tweeted about the Depp case, which is exactly what you'd expect given the insane amount of media coverage it got. But most of these genuine accounts only posted once or a couple of times, whereas the bots and the trolls were much more prolific.
I see a lot of the bots that's like super active. The content of a message are the same, right? They're just replying the same message to different accounts.
That's how you can get to a situation where the majority of accounts in Ron's database were likely authentic, while the majority of tweets were not. Kai Cheng also spotted particular examples of inauthentic activity, accounts we'd never seen before, like Carlin Vincent.
It has roughly 1,000 posts. All those posts are actually replies to different official accounts of brands, especially Warner Brothers, posting something like Warner Brothers support abusers such as Amber Heard, and then have the hashtag saying justice for Johnny Depp. So the same type of message 1,000 times. So that's a typical bot behavior, right?
He found accounts which developed a sudden interest in the Depp case out of nowhere.
This one is also very interesting. If you look at the timeline, it has 3 stages of different behaviors. So before 2019, it was mainly posting about Japanese anime, and then it went dormant. And then in 2020, in November, all of a sudden, these accounts start to post and retweet large amounts of pro-Johnny Depp tweets. If you hire those bots for certain purpose, these bots will start to post the account you request. When you stop paying, then the bots stop.
And here's what's really significant about what Kai Cheng found. Examples of coordinated behavior. Suspect accounts working together to troll Amber. We identified individual accounts, but this goes a step further.
I found another example, which is a group of accounts, I think based on their behavior, those are all bots. And what they do was just reply the same message. This brand supports domestic violence against men to different brands.
All these accounts tweet the same message. They send this message to anyone associated with Amber. Her studio, Warner Brothers, her main sponsor, L'Oreal, the Sun newspaper, even J.K. Rowling.
Repeatedly. And usually it's on the same day. This is typical what we call coordinated inauthentic behavior.
I asked Johan to run the phrase, "This brand supports domestic violence against men," through Information Tracer, his tool designed to detect social media manipulation.
Whoa.
That night, he sends me a voice note.
There are about 100 accounts generating more than 1,200 tweets and retweets that include this identical term within a matter of hours. And all of those accounts look suspicious.
Johan's tool shows that over 1,000 identical tweets are sent in a matter of hours on the 7th of November 2020.
Crazy.
And that's super interesting, because that's not the only suspicious activity happening around this time. It's also when Felipe, the Chilean right-winger, suddenly develops his interest in Depp. It's when the Japanese anime accounts and the Spanish bot accounts start tweeting hundreds of times about the case. And it's when Carlin Vincent begins relentlessly trolling companies like Warner Brothers. All this activity happens in the same 48-hour period. And there's something that happens right at the beginning of this that I think might be relevant. On the 6th of November, Depp announces on Instagram that he's been fired from the Fantastic Beasts movie, a week after losing the UK trial. Why was there so much coordinated bot activity in the 48 hours following this announcement? Was this just an angry fan creating a bot campaign on his home computer? Or was this Depp's team launching a fight back against the judgment?
That's mad. All this time, this whole episode, I'm sitting here waiting for what, because I could see they're mentioning these dates or whatever. I'm thinking, where in the timeline is this that they're saying this all suddenly happened? So it happened straight after losing the UK trial. So as soon as he lost that trial, he was sitting there waiting with his bot farm hired, troll farm hired, ready to go to action. And to be honest, they were probably, I think, like I said, I think they were already working before that. But they would have had a plan to implement the next stage properly at that moment.
In the early 19th century, a French criminal called Eugène François Vidocq decided to become a private detective. Vidocq was possibly the world's first ever example of a sleuth. He went on to found France's first criminal investigative agency, and his story inspired several writers, including Victor Hugo. He also pioneered the use of agents provocateurs, secret agents who would go undercover to encourage suspects to commit a crime. And that's how I've come to see the bots and trolls in the Amber Heard case. They didn't create all the hate towards her, but they were in the mix, stoking things up, encouraging and inciting ugly elements which were already present, making sure that by the time you became aware of the story, your social media feed was already filled with one-sided vitriol. I feel like I've learned a lot from Johan and Kai-Cheng. We've got much closer to answering the question of what happened. But that still leaves the other question. Who trolled Amber? Who commissioned these bots and trolls in the first place?
I want to just state the obvious, Johnny Depp. I know, I'm aware there's a name coming up in all of this that's going to be exposed as someone who Depp hired to do it, or who led it in, or who decided to do it, whatever. But But yeah, like obviously to me, I don't care. Johnny Depp did this, yeah. So it's a bit of a weird title for this whole thing, if I'm honest. Who trolled Amber? Depp. Depp trolled Amber. I would more say it was Depp who created an orchestrated campaign of abuse against his ex-wife. We've got about 7 minutes left, 6 minutes left to this one now. And yeah, let's get through it.
Ron's dataset has given us almost too many leads. It shows that the campaign against Amber has come from all over the world. I feel a bit stuck, so I do what I normally do when I need an answer. I ring Daniel Mackey, the former spy who put me on this story in the first place.
How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I'm good. Very well. I mean, work stress is work stress, but life is overall it's pretty good.
Basically, the top line from Johan, one of the researchers, was that in his opinion, more than half of all the tweets in the database using anti-Amber Heard hashtags were posted by inauthentic accounts.
Wow. And what led him to that conclusion? And that doesn't surprise me in the slightest, but that's interesting. That's a substantial finding.
Both Johan and Kai Cheng found suspicious behavior across the entire data set. Maybe I can go through a couple of examples quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
There were quite a few repurposed accounts that they found.
Right, so the accounts are either being leveraged by the same actor working for different clients, or they were being bought and sold and used by different actors. That is bread and butter disinformation, inauthentic activity.
And then they found something that they...
That's interesting. The term he used, I'm saying, being repurposed or by the same actor. So he's calling the person, the troll, who's faking an actor. That's an interesting way to name them.
Called specifically coordinated inauthentic behavior. So there was this network of accounts that posted exactly the same message about Amber Heard being
same time, or 1,000 times in one day or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It was literally, actually, you got it almost bang on. It was like 1,200 times on one particular day.
These guys that you got to do this analysis sound like they know what they're doing. That's how we used to do that analysis back in my old life. That's pretty cool. That's like very validating to hear that, because this is the theory that we discussed a while back. And so to hear that their analysis so directly speaks to the thing that we were in our gut saying, this looks really weird, and like, yeah, that's really satisfying to hear that, to be honest.
If more than 50% of overall conversation is potentially inauthentic or coming from inauthentic sources, does that suggest to you that it is significantly higher than the sort of level of bot activity that you would normally expect to see?
Absolutely, 100%. We're looking at something here that feels beyond just the general din of the crowded bar. This is somebody getting up on stage, ripping off their pants, throwing eggs at people in the audience.
I suppose a related question, do you think that this sort of inauthentic activity would have the power to influence the real world debate?
100%.
Of course.
Absolutely. I mean, this was a case that was in part prosecuted in the court of public opinion. It was a sort of modern day OJ or Lewinsky situation.
So where is the democracy? Where is the actual fair trial? Like, this series is excellent, because this series is really outlining over and over again that we didn't have a fair trial, and we're not having a fair legal system. How can people, like even Amber Heard, who's a big star, how can someone even of her level of success and power in this world not be able to get a fair trial in America? That's insane.
Where these new media platforms are being used. Even in my personal life, I had people flagging me. I saw this, and I saw this piece of content or whatever, and they show it to me, and I go, that is inauthentic. Why it is so divisive is because it takes natural human interaction, social connection, and community making, and it basically amplifies the interests of a few specific parties. It's actually fundamentally anti-democratic. It is like pouring gasoline on a fire. Okay, so here's an idea. You should look into other inauthentic campaigns. I'm willing to bet that if you look at other inauthentic campaigns, you will find that there are commonalities between them and this one. None of what these guys have done here is reinventing the wheel. The internet is mostly imitative rather than iterative. And so by examining who they're imitating, you might actually be able to narrow down who's running this.
As soon as I get off the phone, I start to look for other cases. I want to find one where online bots have imposed themselves onto a narrative. That's when I come...
And that's mad, because I've been saying this whole episode, I've been pausing it, saying Donald Trump's already done this, and the Conservative government have already done this to Jeremy Corbyn, and I witnessed it. I saw it happening. I was arguing with them. I was targeted. Like, one day I will do a whole take on that, but you can see the stuff about Rise Up on my page. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was very, like, you know, it's because I was quite high up in that whole campaign. I was definitely targeted by these people ridiculously. But yeah, let's see what he decides or finds.
I get off the phone, I start to look for other cases. I want to find one where online bots have imposed themselves onto a narrative. That's when I come across one of the weirdest stories I've ever heard.
Okay.
And I didn't expect it would give me a clue about who trolled Amber. Turns out, I was wrong. Next time on Who Trolled Amber, we go through the looking glass.
I call it my Alice in Wonderland life, since it started.
A homicide case gives us new clues.
Do you think that anyone connected to you might have paid for bots or trolls to support your case?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And a former FBI agent raises an intriguing possibility.
They want to showcase the failures of the U.S. That's why you would have state actors or other groups in this. This is a propaganda war.
State actors.
We contacted Johnny Depp while making this podcast, but he didn't respond.
I must say that at the end of every episode.
Who Trolled Amber is written and reported by me, Alexi Mostrous, and by Xavier Greenwood. The producer is Xavier Greenwood. Additional reporting by Katie Riley. Sound design is by Carla Patella. The narrative editor is Gary Marshall. The editor is David Taylor.
Alright, big up to all of them. This is an amazing series. I'm not going to say loads at the end today because I think I've stopped it and said the things I need to say. But I'm going to say something again that I've said a few times. This should be like mainstream news everywhere. Like, it's insane. This is on, and like each episode gets lower. This is on 1.2k views. Yeah? I don't know if it has more on Spotify. I don't know. But this is a huge deal, what this is exposing. And it just goes to show how right they are about how much control the right wing have over the narratives of this world, and that misogyny has over the narrative of this world, and patriarchy has. Yeah, there is no democracy when the rich and powerful are allowed to control public perception like this. And it's just, on this case, when you look at the evidence, like any of these cases that it comes in, like the simple basics of it and how wrong they are, it's just crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, and it's scary. And yeah, I think that's where I leave it today, man. So big up everyone that's watched the first 2 episodes of this. If you're watching this later, watch the first 2 episodes of it. There's 3 more to go. I'm doing them every week. I'm doing them live on Thursdays at 9 p.m, but kind of later in the show, so it probably ends up being about 11 p.m, between 10 and 11 p.m. that I'll actually do them. But I'll always upload them every week, like Friday, Saturday. This one probably goes up Saturday. But, and I've seen there's been people watching throughout. I'm sure you're probably the more Amber Heard supporters and the like. I've got a comment just jumping in now from Kiernan saying the online bot campaign against Corbyn in 2016 was the now defunct Cambridge Analytica SP ? No question mark. I think so. Maybe. Yeah. I mentioned Cambridge Analytica in the mix of this somewhere, but I didn't. I know there was a documentary about Cambridge Analytica. I haven't looked into it that deeply, and I need to really. I think after I do this whole Amber Heard thing, I will look into that. Maybe I'll do the whole documentary about it, or maybe I'll look into some other videos that maybe break it down easier. Because, like I say, I just experienced it. I was involved in campaigning for Corbyn a lot, and I just experienced that campaign coming at me, and it was crazy. But yeah. And they've said the Mercers and Steve Bannon. Yeah, I'll get to it, but I got to sign off for the night. So yeah, big up. I just want to say big up to everyone who's just been watching this, who probably tuned in for this part. I have like a usual load of viewers. They tuned in and was very active in the chat for the first part. I guess this thing, Kiernan said, I'm mostly interested in the bot phenomenon. Yeah, with all this, I'm really, like, as much as I'm interested in Amber Heard and I'm like wanting to expose what happened to her and what was done was so wrong, this is so much bigger than that. Like, the fact we're looking at how governments are being controlled is wild. But at the same time, it's like I kind of knew, like I said, I was in the mix of it, watching that happen. I kind of expect that governments are controlled like that, as much as that's a horrible thing to accept and know. And actually, on the flip side, the other way around, having an individual who's just rich enough to do that to one person is really terrifying as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, cool, a government can influence the mass public of a country, but just one person can use those government-like tactics to abuse his ex-wife. Is crazy. But yeah, I'm with you on how crazy that is, just as a, like you say, bot phenomenon. But big up everyone that's tuned in. I'll be back Monday to do my music show, UK Legends, Monday 9 PM, and I'll be back again for SJW Live Thursday, same time as this